Hello, hello. Thank you for waiting. We go, we move, we start. So please, it's now. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the Interreg Euro-MED Programme and all the best to all for this new adventure.
Bem-vindos ao programa Euro-MED e boa sorte a todos por esta nova aventura.
Bienvenidos al programa Euro-MED y mucha suerte a todos en esta nueva aventura.
Bienvenue au sein du programme Interreg Euro-MED et bonne chance à tous pour cette nouvelle aventure.
Benvenuti nel programma Interreg Euro-MED e buona fortuna a tutti per questa nuova avventura.
مرحبا في البروجرام Interreg Euro-MED u auguri lil kulħadd għal din l-avventura l-ġdida.
Dobrodošli v programu Interreg Euro-MED in vse najboljše pri skupnem sodelovanju.
Dobrodošli u program Interreg Euro-MED i sretno svima u novoj avanturi.
Dobrodošli u Interreg Euro-MED program i puno sreće svima u ovoj novoj avanturi.
Dobrodošli u Interreg Euro-MED program i sretno svima u ovoj novoj aventuri.
Mirësevini në programin Euro-MED, ju uroj një fat të mbar në këtë aventurë të re.
Γεια σας, εκ μέρους της Ελλάδας σας καλωσορίζουμε στο νέο πρόγραμμα Interreg Euro-MED και ευχόμαστε καλή τύχη σε όλους σας στη νέα αυτή πρόκληση.
Καλώς ήρθατε στο πρόγραμμα Interreg Euro-MED και καλή τύχη σε όλους για αυτή τη νέα περιπέτεια.
Ни представува особена чест и задоволство да бидеме нова членка на Interreg Euro-MED програмата и да ја започнеме оваа авантура со вас.
Щастливи сме да бъдем нови членове на програма Interreg Euro-MED и да започнем това приключение заедно.
Welcome everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Lisbon. Bienvenue à Lisbonne. Bem-vindos a Lisboa. And welcome to the kick-off event of the new Interreg Euro-MED Programme 21-27, heading towards a greener Mediterranean. It's a pleasure to finally be reunited and be able to welcome you here in Lisbon, despite the last couple of years we've just had and the latest kickbacks that prevented some of you from coming. But for those of you that have made it, well done, and we're very pleased to see each other again. And for all of you, the many of you watching from home, from the office, we dearly miss you, and we hope that we will get to see each other very soon again in real life, because I think we all really miss that. And of course, times are still tough, and we are constantly adapting to these new situations, and we would have been a lot more in different circumstances here today. But we know that we have over 800 people joining us online today. So it's really, it's a sign that we are going in the right direction, but still we have adapted to this new situation. And it shows that we are, of course, very popular with 800 people joining us online and maybe 150 here. I don't know, maybe. But it shows, more importantly, that we have some great interest in our region and, of course, a tremendous potential. In any case, wherever we are here in Lisbon or anywhere across the Mediterranean, we are all connected around a common ambition, common topics. We all share them, and it's to make the Mediterranean a more sustainable and a greener place to live. And we have taken a lot of important steps towards this goal, together with you, with our partners, with our projects, to all the fantastic work that our projects have been doing. So here's to the new step the start of this new step in this journey, in this new adventure. And what better occasion to celebrate than to start to launch this new programming period with you. Okay, I think I can have a little break with the start of this adventure, take off my bag, and do a quick housekeeping announcements for those of you watching remotely and for you here. We have simultaneous translation available with the headsets that you picked up at the entrance and also on the event website, so you can choose the channel for the respective language here. And for those of you online, you can easily switch between languages using the little flags on the top right-hand corner of the website. You can also follow the live stream of the event from our website directly or using the link that's on the website. We have also been active on Twitter promoting this event, and you have as well, so make sure that you follow the event using the hashtag EuroMedKickoff and share your thoughts, your moments here in the conference, and show the world that you're here. But importantly, the way for you to interact with us today will be through a website called menti.com, where I invite you to log into now and type in the numbers here to join the event. And this is where you will be able to ask all your questions. We won't be able to take questions directly from the audience, obviously, as you know why. But this is the way we'll take questions. We'll pick up some of them and answer them on the screen. So to get you warmed up with using Menti, we shall start with a couple of questions, easy questions, for you to get familiar with it and know how to answer questions later on. Okay, I don't know if we are displaying the questions or not, but in any case, I would like to know, where are you from? So which country do you come from, or are you connecting from today? And second question is, what's your own personal status? How are you feeling right now? What's your inner weather in the beginning of this journey? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you motivated? Are you excited? Are you in desperate need of a holiday? You can say whatever you're feeling like. And while we are logging into Menti and replying to these two questions, let me take you through today's agenda. See what we have in store for you today. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry, I was too quick. Huh. Okay, I will just say in a few words what we have planned for you today. We will have first a few introductory words from our hosts, and then, importantly, we will have a series of presentations from the Interreg MED Joint Secretariat, who will introduce the new missions of the new program and what is at stake in order for all of us to start off on the right foot. After a coffee break, we will welcome in the second part some dear colleagues from other programs and stakeholders around the MED area in a panel discussion, in a round table, to discuss opportunities to coordinate our efforts, our common work in this new approach and in this new era for the Mediterranean. Importantly about timekeeping, as you keep answering those, is it working? I'm being told that maybe on the Menti, maybe not. Now it is? Okay. If you're able to answer these questions, hopefully it's working. In terms of timing, we are having just a relatively short event to symbolize the launch of this event. So we will have to close the event at 4:30 p.m. In only a few hours already, and we will have a lot to introduce to you in the meantime. So it will have to be sharp, and it's 4:30 Lisbon time. And as you know, in the Mediterranean, We like to do things at large, and we are spread across 3 different time zones. So 4:30 means 5:30 in Central Mediterranean, and 6:30 for our friends in Greece, Bulgaria, Cyprus. So that's why we need to be on time, because for them, it will be very late if we run out of time. One last thing before we start, I would like to introduce a special guest we have today, Mr. Daniel Lanka Perdigão. Daniel is here. He's a journalist. He does a fantastic job of turning our complicated presentations with lots of details into easy to understand illustrations, drawings, to summarize everything. So he will be with us throughout the event, and he will be taking notes in his own special way. And we're grateful that you're here. So thank you, Daniel. And we look forward to seeing what you prepare for us, and we'll check with you several times during the event. Okay, I think we can have a look now at your answers. If we can have that displayed to see where you're from and who are the most popular. Okay, let's have a look first at what Daniel will be doing. This is the blank canvas that will then be coming to life with the information that we'll introduce to you, which hopefully is not too complicated, and it's something that you will embark with us on. So hopefully we will have all of you in following this, and in any case you can ask questions, and we will pick them up as we go along. And first, can we have a look at the answers to see if we had sufficient a sufficient amount of answers, and if you have been able to use Menti correctly, because I wasn't sure about that. Okay. Drum roll. Maybe it's not working, I don't know. Maybe we will move on with the first introduction speech, and then, oh, hang on. Or not. We are in this journey all together, so thank you. It's been a while that we have been able to organize an event in real life. I don't know about you. I know some projects have been able to have meetings in the last few weeks, but for me, it's the first time that I've been able to travel and see all of you. I mean, see partners in real life since February 2020. So it's been a long time coming, and of course there will be maybe some hiccups, but we'll try and make it as smooth a journey as possible for all of you. And starting with the introductory speeches, first we will have some welcome words from our hosts, our host country, and Miss Isabel Ferreira, who couldn't be with us today, but she wanted to give us a warm welcome regardless, and wish us a nice start to this journey. So we will start with her words.
I regret not being able to be present as it was my intention, but fortunately the technological means allow other options, and I am glad that I can be with you virtually. It is with great satisfaction that Lisbon hosts the Heading Towards a Greener Mediterranean event. I must say that as a Portuguese citizen, I am very pleased that this event is taking place in Portugal under the Portuguese presence of the Monitoring Committee. The European Union has defined the European Ecological Pact, the Green Deal, as its topic priority. The Interreg programs were given the mission of mobilizing the strategic objective 2, a greener, more sustainable, more resilient Europe, as their main priority. determined to contribute to making Europe the first carbon-neutral continent, the 14 countries responsible for preparing the programmatic document, which will be presented in January to the European Commission for approval, joined their best efforts. And the Euro-MED programme, which we celebrate here today, financed by the ERDF, is an important milestone to achieve this goal in the Mediterranean area. However, despite the importance of this theme, Euro-MED represents more than an investment in decarbonization or green technologies. This investment requires everyone to participate in the transition process, ensuring a better future and guaranteeing that no region will be left behind. In fact, we all must be involved in this mandatory change. Commissioner Elisa Ferreira stated that a society is as resilient as it shares experience and good practices, as it is able to spread and involve all citizens, contributing to the overall process of sustainable development. Interreg programs, and this one is no exception, hold a wealth of inspiring experiences that can and should be enjoyed by all. The experience exists, and we are committed to making the best possible use of the acquired knowledge. On the northern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, the Euro-MED programme covers a vast territory from Lisbon to Nicosia. In fact, the eligible geographical area of the programme corresponds to about 25% of the whole European Union area. The juxtaposition of such diverse regions creates both opportunities and challenges for differentiated development. Its climate, geography, or authenticity are real assets, both as a place to live and for tourism, and the programme area is rich in biodiversity and agricultural potential. However, the region, even though it is the #1 touristic destination in the world, is under tremendous pressure, mainly due to human action and the upsetting vulnerability to climate change. Thus, this programme should be materialized as a strong contribution to the sustainable development of the Mediterranean area. It is imperative to protect the identity of the Mediterranean basin, to implement actions capable of attenuating the progressive environmental stress to which it is subjected, preserving biodiversity and cultural heritage, and respecting its unique geography. This is also an area where there is an enormous potential for creating and maintaining jobs through sustainable environmental management. The circular economy, a strong purpose of the programme, is a source of creation green jobs in line with the forecast of creating 700,000 jobs by 2030 under this theme. At the same time, it allows for the reduction of waste and reduction of energy consumption, helping to prevent irreversible damage to the planet. The commitment to an economy strongly based on local communities, with a reduction in energy consumption and the transition from fossil fuels to 100% clean energy has a positive impact on the economy, on preserving the environment, and consequently on citizens' life. We are aware of how much has been accomplished over the last 30 years of Interreg's implementation, but we are also conscious that much remains to be done, and this is where we must focus our efforts. To achieve these ambitious goals, we need to join strengths. The journey will be extensive. It will require major changes in lifestyles, consumption patterns, production methods, but the destination pays off. The vision of a carbon-neutral Europe with sustainable growth, where biodiversity is preserved and green job creation is encouraged, is exciting. And there could not be more inspiring starting point that the city of Lisbon awarded last year as the European Green Capital. Thank you all, and accept my best wishes for a fruitful and rewarding event.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ferreira, for these very inspiring words. And if you're watching us, I hope you're doing okay. And we wish you had been here with us. But it is great, and it's really important, the messages that you've managed to make us inspired with these introductory words. So let's have a look now at the answers from our two little polls that we started to see where you're from. And as we can see, we have a lot of the usual Mediterranean countries, and also, maybe not mentioned here, but I know that we have, as you have seen from the introductory videos, a lot of different countries that may not be represented today, but in any case, that are part of our program. And we will see that later on in more detail in our presentations. We have a second introductory speech from the managing authority, representative of the managing authority. And I would like to invite on stage Mrs. Caroline Pozmentier-Sportich, who is regional councillor at the Région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, who is the managing authority of the Interreg MED Programme. Thank you very much. You've just made it in time. Thank you.
Mesdames et messieurs, good morning, good afternoon. I'm going to speak in French. Tout d'abord, je suis vraiment désolée de mon retard, puisque j'ai visité Lisbonne ayant été déposée dans un endroit qui n'était pas le bon. Donc ça me permet d'avoir une belle visibilité de cette ville. Merci encore pour votre accueil, mesdames et messieurs, en ce début d'après-midi. Je dirais, chers amis méditerranéens et amis de la coopération territoriale européenne, c'est avec un grand plaisir que je suis aujourd'hui parmi vous, au nom du président de la région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, M. Renaud Muselier, en tant que représentante de l'autorité de gestion du programme Interreg Euro-MED. La région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur est, comme toutes les régions méditerranéennes, particulièrement exposée aux effets du changement climatique. Nous savons que la Méditerranée est la deuxième région terrestre la plus affectée par le changement climatique après l'Arctique. Elle s'est déjà réchauffée de 1,5 degré. Le manque d'eau va poser des problèmes graves dans les prochaines décennies et le niveau de la mer pourrait monter de plus de 1 mètre d'ici à 2100. Alors je ne suis pas venue pour vous faire un état des lieux, mais je suis venue pour vous rappeler le concours et le travail de co-construction que nous menons tous ensemble. Nous savons qu'avec le président Renaud Muselier, combien les enjeux climatiques sont essentiels, et sachez qu'en région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, le président et toute la majorité a déjà fait beaucoup pour que l'action climatique soit un axe prioritaire pendant son précédent mandat, tout comme à l'occasion de celui qu'il renouvelle depuis maintenant quelques mois. Nous avons, en région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, pu nous réjouir effectivement des choix et des objectifs qui sont portés par la 3e édition du programme Interreg-MED, dorénavant Interreg Euro-MED. C'est un programme qui est à 100% axé sur le pacte vert, qui avait été présenté tout juste il y a 2 ans par la Commission européenne. C'est environ 235 millions d'euros de financement FEDER, Fonds européen de développement régional, et IAP, qui seront disponibles jusqu'en 2027 pour des activités favorisant une meilleure gestion de nos déchets, une protection de notre faune et flore marine et terrestre, de nos côtes et nos villes, une recherche et consolidation de sources d'énergie propres et plus efficaces, l'affirmation d'un développement économique respectueux de l'environnement, d'un tourisme et pour des transports innovants et durables. Alors l'exploitation de nos ressources naturelles doit et devra être de plus en plus respectueuse de notre environnement. Face aux multiples enjeux qui affectent notre belle, notre grande Méditerranée, un tel engagement financier, vous me direz, peut rester modeste, sur un bassin d'environ, qui compte près de 150 millions d'Européens et Méditerranéens. Est-ce que c'est véritablement une petite goutte dans l'océan? Pour autant, et c'est pour cela, que des synergies et des complémentarités avec d'autres programmes, d'autres initiatives, d'autres stratégies nationales et européennes devront être trouvées et mises en œuvre afin que cette petite goutte se transforme en rivière à l'horizon 2030 grâce à l'effort et à la contribution de tous. Toute action et investissement du programme Interreg Euro-MED aura davantage d'impact si nous travaillons tous ensemble, dans le même sens, pour une seule et unique Méditerranée. Quelle ambition! En dépit de ses frontières physiques et administratives, une Méditerranée qui se caractérise, mesdames et messieurs, par ses liens entre mer et montagne, îles et continents, villes et zones rurales. Oui, cette coopération que nous appelons de nos vœux doit favoriser la cohésion nord et sud, est-ouest, qui suit les courants et ne s'arrête pas à la limite des eaux territoriales d'un pays. Mesdames et messieurs, cette journée, cet après-midi et demain également marque le passage entre les deux programmations 2014-2020 et 2021-2027 et accueille aussi de nouveaux compagnons de voyage. Je citerai les régions espagnoles de Castilla, La Mancha, Extremadura et Madrid, ainsi que les républiques de Bulgarie et Macédoine du Nord. Ce sont désormais 14 pays partenaires, 69 régions, depuis Lisbonne où nous trouvons ce jour, jusqu'à Nicosie, qui s'unissent à travers la coopération territoriale européenne, dans la recherche d'une plus grande efficacité et unité à l'échelle transnationale. Alors la Commission, tout comme les citoyens l'exigent, eh bien, nous devons être plus efficaces, plus concrets, face aux défis urgents auxquels la Méditerranée est confrontée. Je ne les citerai, cet après-midi me semble essentiel: migration, climat, pollution de l'eau et de l'air, montée des eaux, chômage et précarité des jeunes. La future coopération méditerranéenne devra tenir compte de tous ces éléments en s'appuyant sur ses expériences passées et apporter des solutions viables pour tout le bassin et son hinterland. Oui, je vous le disais, c'est une coopération que nous voulons accrue, qui est élargie à nos voisins du Sud et qui seule pourra contribuer efficacement à répondre à ces multiples défis du XXIe siècle. La région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, en qualité d'autorité de gestion 2021-2027, vous assure de son plein engagement pour œuvrer dans ce sens, et c'est tout le sens de ma présence aujourd'hui à Lisbonne. Toujours dans cette collaboration que nous souhaitons complémentaire avec les autres programmes méditerranéens. En effet, l'union fait la force, et cette union ne peut être que le résultat d'une meilleure coordination, coproduction, interprogramme, pour rendre plus efficace notre action commune. Sans plus tarder, je vous souhaite à toutes et à tous de bons travaux. J'espère que, mais j'en suis certaine, que les échanges qui suivront, comme ceux que vous avez déjà entamés il y a maintenant quelques années, vous apporteront et nous apporteront les premiers éléments de réflexion pour partager une vision nouvelle de la coopération territoriale européenne et de sa mise en œuvre pour la période 2021-2027. Nous avons besoin de cette Europe au plus près de nos concitoyens, au plus près de nos euro-méditerranéens. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for these inspiring words. I think we're all set now and motivated to start with this new adventure. And as you've heard, we have some new members of the MED family that have joined us. So I would like to give them the warmest welcome possible to our representatives from North Macedonia and Bulgaria. So if maybe there are some of you in the room, can you please wave or... Thank you. Thank you. We are very glad. Thank you. We're very pleased to have you with us. And we can't wait to start working with you and also with the 3 new Spanish regions of Extremadura, Castilla-La Mancha and Madrid that are also joining the MED family. Okay. I've been told that people are desperately waiting, trying to find networking options online. Unfortunately, with the platform that we have for this event, it's only a live streaming, so we're not able to offer any chat rooms or networking options. But hopefully soon we will have some of these features available from our new website, which we hope we'll be able to introduce to you very soon. But in the meantime, for today, if you can make yourself visible online from the usual means, then this is the way to do it for now. Sorry about that. So I think we're ready to start properly to kick off this new journey, this first step. And for this first step to materialize, you need to have all the information. So the new program, the Interreg Euro-MED 21-27, you've heard this one extra word, Euro-MED. So there's indeed a slight difference. And yes, we are welcoming some new territories to the cooperation area. But this new word also symbolizes a new approach. This is what we will present to you today. Before we welcome my colleagues from the JS, I will let you go into a journey through the 2014-2020 Interreg MED projects with a short video that was presented during the Interreg Slam competition organized by Interact to see what we have done in this previous current programming period, and this is the context, this is the base for the new program.
The textile and clothing sector in the Mediterranean has suffered a lot from the economic crisis. For young designers and artists who wish to innovate, cooperating with other industries and countries can open up new ideas and new markets. Could connecting with others even revive a sector and spread traditions in the entire world? This is what happened in Italy, Spain, Slovenia, and Greece, where like-minded researchers and entrepreneurs created hubs gathering artists, startups, and textile and clothing companies. Together, they designed new products and materials, expanded their work to new territories, and showcased the Mediterranean heritage and innovation all over Europe and the world. They called this initiative the Creative Wear Project. And just like that, good ideas and traditions are spread across the globe. Monitoring thousands of kilometers of coral reef and species underwater is nearly impossible with just a handful of scientists, and it is costly. But what if you could train thousands of amateur divers to help you? This is the great idea that researchers, environmental NGOs, and national parks from Croatia, Italy, and France had. Together, they founded the MPA ADAPT project and partnered with the Main Leisure Diving Certification, PADI, and the Divers Alert Network, DAN, to train diving instructors to monitor the impact of climate change on marine protected areas in the Mediterranean. These diving instructors are now training other recreational divers, slowly but surely shaping the climate change army of tomorrow. Thousands of divers have been and will be sensitized to the influence we have on the sea and its fragility. The project went even further and trained scientists and project managers from other environmental organizations, such as the Food and Agriculture Organization, so their tools are now used everywhere in the Mediterranean. What do these projects have in common? They all count on amazing partners who knew how to use their contacts, expand them, and transfer their tools and knowledge. Last but not least, they were supported by a community of projects working together, sharing good practices, and helping each other, because this is what European cooperation projects do. This is what we strive for at the Interreg MED program. We provide funds for ambitious European cooperation projects, and then go further and back them up by coordinating all their ideas and initiatives.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, that was impressive, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed the video, and it gave you even more motivation from seeing what we can do to join us in this new adventure and take it even further. So now let me welcome my dear colleagues from the Joint Secretariat. We have Sophie Scarvelis, Christophe Meyer, Pascal Lagaille, and Lidwin Lafontaine, who will give you an overview of the main characteristics of this new program and all you need to know before embarking with us on this journey. Don't forget to use Menti to ask questions about the presentations you're about to see. Depending on the time we have, we will take 2-3 questions maybe in 2 different sets after 2 presentations and another set of questions after the 2 other presentations. And if we cannot take your questions today, we will have them in any case, and we'll make sure to answer the relevant ones about the new program on our website. And if there are questions specific to the course that we will launch soon, you will also have plenty of opportunities to get answers about these very soon. So we will start with you, Sophie. Sophie is going to present us the context of the cooperation program, where we stand now, what we have achieved so far, and what is ahead of us. You're going to speak in French, right? So headsets on for the translation. Thank you. Sophie, the floor is yours.
Bonjour à tous, je suis ravie de vous retrouver ici à Lisbonne et aussi à travers vos écrans dans les 4 coins de la Méditerranée. Nous sommes fiers avec mes collègues aujourd'hui de vous présenter le nouveau programme Interreg Euro-MED. Nous avons fait le choix de nous concentrer aujourd'hui sur l'essentiel. Donc vous pourrez avoir accès à de plus en plus d'informations sur notre site et aussi lors des différents séminaires que nous organiserons en ligne à partir de la nouvelle année. Donc, avant d'entrer dans le vif du sujet, revenons très rapidement sur quelques basiques, juste pour celles et ceux qui ne sont pas familiers avec les programmes européens ou avec la coopération territoriale. Donc, le programme Interreg Euro-MED s'inscrit dans la politique de cohésion. C'est son deuxième objectif, la coopération territoriale européenne, et le programme Interreg Euro-MED est un programme du volet transnational. Tous les 7 ans, l'Union européenne révise la stratégie d'attribution des fonds européens afin de répondre aux nouveaux défis de l'Union européenne et donne un cadre réglementaire que les programmes doivent respecter. Donc, chaque programme perçoit un financement et attribue des subventions à des projets à travers d'appels à projets. Donc, son contenu et ses modalités sont décidés par les États participants et approuvés par la Commission. C'est pourquoi aujourd'hui, je vais vous résumer rapidement ce qui a été fait ces dernières années sur la période 2014-2020. Et ensuite, je vais vous présenter l'approche générale du programme Interreg Euro-MED pour la période 2021-2027, telle que décidée par les États participants, mais pas encore approuvée par la Commission. Donc, le programme Interreg MED 2014-2020 a contribué à promouvoir une croissance durable pour tout le bassin. Pour cela, nous avons travaillé sur 8 thématiques. Et également, ces 8 thématiques ont contribué à 3 priorités, l'innovation, l'économie bas carbone et l'environnement. Le programme, à ses contenus thématiques, a adjoint un axe gouvernance afin de définir une vision et un cadre commun et, pour une gouvernance au niveau transnational. Cela a permis d'identifier, de mettre en œuvre des approches, des politiques, des projets stratégiques sur 3 thématiques jugées prioritaires pour la zone du programme, le tourisme côtier et maritime, la surveillance maritime et l'innovation dans l'économie bleue. Donc, ces projets mis en œuvre ont permis à de très nombreux acteurs, qu'ils soient institutionnels, scientifiques, techniques, politiques, privés, de travailler et de dialoguer de manière conjointe, à plusieurs niveaux et dans plusieurs secteurs. Ceci afin de trouver des solutions innovantes aux défis partagés par tous. Ce sont donc plus de 800 partenaires qui ont pu travailler sur un ou sur plusieurs projets MED entre 2014 et 2021, et certains y travaillent encore aujourd'hui. Ce sont différents types de projets complémentaires qui ont permis d'atteindre les objectifs du programme, avec la production de réalisations de grande qualité, dont un très grand nombre ont pu être transférés et même intégrés dans des politiques. Au total, ce sont 142 projets qui forment la communauté Interreg MED, dont 60 sont encore en cours. C'est dans cette continuité que s'inscrit le nouveau programme. Il s'inspire des typologies de projets qui ont été expérimentés, de la capitalisation des résultats thématiques et aussi des méthodologies de travail conjoints qui ont été développés. Sans oublier, bien sûr, tous les travaux initiés entre les acteurs de la Méditerranée pour une meilleure gouvernance. Donc, voyons maintenant comment le programme Interreg Euro-MED a été dessiné. Alors, je ne vais pas m'étendre sur la géographie, mes prédécesseurs en ont parlé. On va bien donc on s'étend bien sur la rive nord de la Méditerranée, du Portugal à Chypre. Et ainsi, maintenant, on relie l'Atlantique à la mer Noire avec l'entrée des 2 nouveaux pays au programme. Donc, il s'agit bien de 14 pays qui sont éligibles à recevoir un cofinancement de la part du programme, qu'ils soient États membres, pays candidats ou potentiels candidats à l'Union européenne. Ce cofinancement pourra atteindre 80% du budget alloué à un projet. Et également, ce qui est très important aujourd'hui, c'est la collaboration avec les rives sud et est de la Méditerranée. Pour nous, il est extrêmement important, afin d'atteindre les ambitions du programme, d'impliquer la participation des partenaires du sud et de l'est de la Méditerranée en tant que partenaires associés. Cela signifie que la participation à certaines activités pourront être prises en charge par des partenaires recevant une subvention au bénéfice des partenaires associés. Nous verrons tout à l'heure comment cela pourra se mettre en place et quels sont les outils que nous prévoyons de mettre en place pour améliorer cette coopération. Mais ce à quoi nous voudrions répondre aujourd'hui, c'est à quoi veut servir ce nouveau programme Interreg Euro-MED. Le grand défi que l'on s'est donné est de contribuer à la transition vers une société climatiquement neutre et résiliente. En effet, la Méditerranée a beaucoup de ressources qu'il faut protéger de l'impact des changements globaux, tout en assurant une croissance durable et le bien-être de tous les citoyens. Cette ambition va bien entendu bien plus loin que ce qu'un programme peut faire seul avec des projets standards. Elle doit rassembler de nombreux acteurs en Méditerranée et c'est pour ça qu'une coordination de tous les efforts est la seule qui puisse créer un réel impact sur nos projets, sur notre territoire. Mais pour y arriver, nous devons changer notre façon de coopérer et pour cela, nous devons développer des moyens et des outils de coopération et ensuite, nous devons les pérenniser avec la mise en place d'échanges structurés. Donc, comme vous l'aurez compris, le programme Interreg Euro-MED a un focus environnement et climat. Ainsi, il est pleinement aligné sur le Pacte vert européen, mais aussi sur les objectifs de développement durable des Nations Unies et enfin sur l'agenda territorial 2030. Il soutient un grand nombre de politiques et initiatives, qu'elles soient européennes ou méditerranéennes, en lien avec le climat et l'environnement. Alors, pour être en accord parfait avec ces principes, il est important pour nous de les appliquer également à la mise en œuvre des projets. Comment ? Chaque projet devra compenser l'empreinte carbone de tout ou partie des activités qu'il mettra en œuvre. Et pour cela, nous mettrons à disposition des outils, à disposition des projets des outils, afin de développer des solutions et des actions de compensation carbone sur nos propres territoires pour que les citoyens de nos territoires en bénéficient directement. Et maintenant, je vais passer la parole à notre cher modérateur et à mes collègues qui vont vous expliquer en détail comment on va mettre tout ça en place. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, Sophie. I think that was pretty clear, and we have now a broad picture of what's ahead of us. So now that we have this full picture, we can move on to Christophe, if you will. Can you please tell us how the program was designed and how it will be articulated? I think that's important for us to understand so that we can better respond to this overall objective that was set. Christophe, take it away.
Thank you, Nicola. Okay, we are starting again with priorities. So we have 3 priorities for this new program. We have SmarterMed. Okay. 1 second, I have. Okay. So we have SmarterMed and GreenerMed. These are thematic priorities. And then we have a 3rd priority, which is MED governance. And this priority is the backbone for the capitalization of the results into policy actions and cooperation and coordination with other programs in the area. Okay, now we are going to look to have a closer look at the thematic priorities first. We have SmarterMed and GreenerMed, and those thematic priorities are working on specific objectives. Now, these specific objectives, where do they come from? For that, we have to take a step back and have to consider that we are working in a context of European territorial cooperation. And a lot of programs are working in this context, and we have a set of objectives that are somehow to be selected by each program. So this has been done also for Euro-MED. The last years, many of you have participated in this process, and it has been a transnational consultation process. Now we can have a look on what objectives we can find here. So concerning Smarter Med, we can find developing and enhancing research and innovation capacities and the uptake of advanced technologies. This is the one contributing to Smarter Med. Okay. Greener Med, we have several specific objectives. First of all, we have promoting the transition to a circular and resource-efficient economy. Then we see it here as 3. We have promoting climate change adaptation, disaster risk prevention, resilience, and all this taking also into account the ecosystem-based approaches. And we have another one, which is targeting enhancing protection and conservation of nature, biodiversity, green infrastructure, and taking also into account urban areas and the reduction of all forms of pollution. So, as you have seen, this is quite a package. So, these objectives, however, they are important because for those that are planning to submit projects to the program, this is where these objectives come in. So you are submitting your project to one of these objectives. Okay, but in order to adapt them on an operational way to the program, now we have to deal with missions. We have 4 missions for that matter, and this operational concept of missions is new in this program. It's not something we take from the last program, and it's also not, for those that are working with other programs, it's not what all the programs are doing. So these missions are bundling the identified thematic issues based on the logics of the program and the experience with the thematic communities of the last program, the 14-20 period. And when we start to work with you, community building, many communication activities, the maturing and uptake of results will be guided by the concept of the missions. So this is when the missions will come in. Okay, here we have the 4 missions now. Strengthening an innovative, sustainable economy. We have protecting, restoring, and valorizing the natural environment and heritage. We have promoting green living areas. And we have enhancing sustainable tourism. Now, we are going to have a closer look at each of them. So here we have mission 1, which is oriented to research, innovation, advanced technologies, and the transition to a circular and resource-efficient economy. So what I want to do now is to give you already an outlook on related to your project ideas. So what you can do with this, within this mission, or what the projects will work with, for example, just to give you examples, always taking into account that what I'm mentioning here as examples is an indicative list. Of course, there are many other examples as well, but just to make it a little bit more visible for you. Okay. So we have, for example, concerning small and medium enterprises, internationalization, competitiveness, we have circular production, or we have, it has been mentioned also previously, blue and green climate jobs, or also concerning waste into resource. Mission 1. Now, mission 2. The scope of mission 2 is protecting, restoring, and valorizing the natural environment and heritage. Okay, we will go to the more concrete side. What could this mean? This could mean, for example, to work on restoring degraded ecosystems. One example. Another example is transnational connection of ecosystems. Or conservation of coastal and marine biodiversity. And finally also, and another example, this is, for example, the connection of social value of biodiversity. Okay, mission 3 takes up the objective of promoting green living areas. Here you can see what we understand by green living areas. And if we look again on the more concrete side, this could mean prevent climate change impact on health, energy transition, for example, also citizens' involvement to green transition, or to cope with accelerated warming and water scarcity. Okay, now mission 4, which is scoping enhancing sustainable tourism. What do we have here? We have tourism integrated into circular economy as an example. We have also tourism that is directing towards environmental neutral tourism activities. We could also see promoting sustainability of ecosystem services connected to tourism, or promoting the preservation of natural resources and cultural heritage. Okay, now you have seen the 4 missions, and I'm going back to this. What you can see here, why have we chosen these jigsaw pieces for the 4 missions? Well, this is because, as you see, they are not separate, they are interlinked, they are connected, and as you can see, the jigsaw pieces are not giving the whole picture. We are also connected, as the program is connected, to other programs and other initiatives. So this is the idea of the jigsaw pieces. Okay, to resume, again, we come back now to missions and specific objectives. So, what do we have? We have, concerning the 4 missions, we have research and innovation, circular economy. They are taken up by innovative sustainable economy. Then we have climate change risks prevention, which is integrated into the mission green living areas. And we have, again, climate change risk prevention and nature and biodiversity, which are taken up by protecting, restoring, and valorizing the natural environment and heritage. This is the mission side again. And now we have sustainable tourism as a mission, which is taking up all 4 specific objectives. So this is, to resume a little bit, give you an insight in our architecture. I call our moderator again to...
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christophe. Okay, we have the missions now. We are clear and we know what's available for us to work on, and we know in which direction we're going. I'm sure we have some questions already, so we will... Okay, it seems like we have 4, okay. So we will take them one after the other, and colleagues, if you want to pick them up. The first one is, are projects with maritime potential allowed? What do you think? I think, yes, in any case, the maritime dimension is something that's inherent to the Mediterranean area, and they can be, this thematic can be found in all 4 missions. So for sure, this is something that will be crucial, as it has been in the 2014-2020 period. Of course, there will be a very important maritime dimension to the new missions, as they can be found in all topics in our missions. Second question, is the concept, the idea of missions, the same as in the Horizon Europe program?
I don't know.
For sure, it's, our idea is that we will connect with programs in general, not only other cooperation programs, but also thematic programs. So there will be some links that will be made with the thematic programs such as Horizon or Life or other topics, but to be honest, I'm not quite sure. This is something we may have to come back to, but...
Yes, if I may complete.
Yes, please,
also.
Sophie.
Of course, this concept of mission doesn't come from our own like that, but it came also from the Commission asking to work on the objective that the program should contribute to specific missions and try to so I suppose that this is why also Horizon Europe is working on this concept as we do. To be honest, we don't know exactly how the Horizon Europe program has been built, but I suppose that it should be quite it's quite similar, yeah.
Yes, and for sure we will coordinate with these programs. That's one of our not only ambitions, but part of the way we will operate the new programs. So there will be the work there. Could you please clarify how exactly the missions work? Are they like the thematic communities from 2014-2020? Go on, Christophe. Thank you.
I think there will be some information about how they are working later on, because Pascal will mention something about in concrete how they are working. And of course, they are inspired by the thematic communities of the ongoing program. So they are developed they are more developed now according to this program, but the idea has been taken up from the 14-20 program.
Yes, absolutely. I think this was for sure the inspiration, and that's why we will involve the horizontal projects and the thematic communities from the current period to build on their successes, what they have learned, their experience, and help us launch this new program. And the concept of the missions will be very much linked and grouped from the different thematics that we had so far.
I will say something.
Pardon?
Je peux répondre une partie de la question.
Okay, Lidwin, please.
Well, the concept of missions, where did it come from also from all parts? We talked to you about priorities, about objectives. These are mandatory exercises that we have to do with the Commission. We have to pick from a list that is given by the Commission. Our ambition for the program is to coordinate better with other Interreg programs, priorities, initiatives, and so on, which probably do not pick from the same kind of lists. So missions, it's something that can embed more widely some specific objectives, because we don't work separately. It's just like, it's all results combined that contribute to a mission. So the concept of mission is to open up these thematic or selected objectives to enable more cooperation with other initiatives and programs who do not have exactly the same item. So this is why we came up with this mission, these types of concept. So
yes, I agree,
hope
absolutely.
It clarifies, because it's a lot of kind of layers. It sounds like a bit.
Yes, there are different
confused.
layers, and this is why we're doing this today as well. Before we start with opening the course, we want to make it as clear as possible what our intentions are and how the program will work. And I think it will become even clearer now with Pascal's presentation. So, Pascal, it's your turn now to you will present something that I think, sorry, I'm being confused myself. You're going to present us something that I think will be very interested to hear all of you, the different types of projects, and when do we actually start this journey. Pascal will speak in French?
Yes.
Right? So, headset, thank you.
You can switch the channel, and maybe can I have okay, la présentation. Okay, I can switch. Donc, on va parler des projets maintenant et de leur structure. Donc, comment mener à bien les 4 missions que Christophe vient de vous présenter? Eh bien, à l'aide de 2 grandes familles de projets, la famille des projets thématiques, avec 4 typologies de projets à l'intérieur que je vais vous présenter, et la famille des projets de gouvernance avec 2 types de projets différents que je vais vous présenter. Ces 2 familles de projets sont interconnectées et les projets entre eux vont s'enrichir mutuellement. Pour la première famille des projets thématiques, vous aurez des projets qui vont fournir des études sur des problèmes identifiés en Méditerranée et proposer des solutions communes. Vous aurez ensuite les projets qui vont tester ces solutions ou stratégies ou plans d'action que les projets d'études auront proposés. Ensuite, vous aurez les projets transfert, c'est-à-dire qui vont s'occuper d'intégrer les résultats qui auront été produits et testés dans d'autres politiques et par d'autres acteurs de terrain. Ces 3 projets modulaires, ces 3 projets sont appelés les projets modulaires, et on a une 4e typologie de projets qui sont les projets stratégiques territoriaux. Eux, ils vont reprendre la totalité du processus, c'est-à-dire l'étude, le test et le transfert, mais ciblés sur un territoire bien précis qui aura été identifié par le programme et ses États membres, sur par exemple les îles, une problématique dans les îles ou dans les ports ou dans les montagnes. Donc ça sera au fil de la période de programmation. Et donc tous ces types de projets vont produire des résultats, des réalisations qui seront combinables, réutilisables et valorisées grâce à des synergies avec d'autres projets, et notamment les projets de la 2e famille qui sont les projets de gouvernance. Dans cette famille, vous avez la première typologie qui s'appelle les projets de communauté thématique, que vous voyez là avec les petits personnages, et ensuite les projets de dialogue institutionnel qui sont représentés par ces petites bulles. Ces 2 types de projets vont répondre à l'objectif spécifique du programme pour obtenir une meilleure gouvernance territoriale en Méditerranée. Donc, pour aller sur les projets de communauté thématique, ils s'organisent autour des 4 missions que Christophe a présentées et vont s'occuper d'animer le groupe des projets précédents, donc études, tests, transferts et stratégie territoriale. Donc ils vont animer cette communauté, faciliter les échanges, les synergies entre eux, mais également les transferts dans les politiques des territoires euroméditerranéens, donc les territoires du programme. Ce que j'ai oublié de préciser, c'est qu'il y aura un projet par mission, donc 4 projets sur la totalité de la période de programmation, donc pour une durée de 7 ans. Et donc, oui, sur la zone du programme. La 2e typologie de projet fonctionnera de la même manière, c'est-à-dire qu'il y aura un projet de dialogue institutionnel par mission, donc 4 au total, sur une durée de 7 ans. Et eux vont plutôt travailler sur le soutien au dialogue entre les acteurs qui sont concernés par toutes les thématiques du programme, mais eux travailleront sur la zone du programme Euro-MED, mais également au-delà. Ils vont favoriser une coordination structurée et également l'intégration des résultats pour essayer d'obtenir un impact plus durable. Donc, dans cette famille de projets gouvernance, on peut voir qu'ils sont interconnectés. Les 2 typologies de projets vont travailler main dans la main et ils vont répondre à la stratégie d'amplification des résultats du programme qui veut créer les conditions pour mieux aborder des problèmes en Méditerranée en impliquant tous les acteurs dans un large schéma de coordination, c'est-à-dire ouvrir un peu sur le reste de la Méditerranée et sortir un peu plus de la zone du programme, notamment avec l'aide des partenaires associés dont Sophie a parlé tout à l'heure. Donc, pour résumer la typologie de projets, vous avez la première famille, les projets thématiques avec les études, tests, transferts et stratégies territoriaux, qui eux donc travailleront plus sur la zone du programme Euro-MED. Et ensuite, la 2e famille de projets gouvernance avec les projets de dialogue institutionnel et les projets de communauté thématique, qui, eux, ont une particularité dans le sens où ils vont aussi majoritairement travailler sur la zone Euro-MED, mais ils vont avoir le rôle un peu de lien, de pivot pour transférer les résultats et aider les projets de dialogue institutionnel à diffuser les résultats de manière plus large. Voilà, donc ça c'était les différents types de projets. Maintenant, les choses pratiques. Quand est-ce qu'on va lancer les prochains appels? Eh bien, on en a prévu 2 en 2022. Je vais d'abord vous donner le cadre un peu de travail parce que Sophie l'a dit, le programme n'a pas encore été totalement approuvé par la Commission. Il nous manque encore les actes d'exécution, donc en gros le budget définitif. On doit recevoir ça rapidement. On a l'intention de déposer le programme à la Commission le mois prochain, en janvier. Et normalement, si tout se passe bien, le programme devrait être approuvé en avril-mai l'année prochaine. On ne va pas attendre qu'il soit approuvé. On va quand même lancer le premier appel à projet début février, parce qu'on sait que tout va bien se passer. Et le premier appel à projet portera sur les projets de gouvernance, donc ceux que je vous ai présentés avant, les projets de dialogue institutionnel, un par mission, et les projets de communauté thématique, un par mission également. Le deuxième appel à projet concernera les projets modulaires, donc études, tests et transferts, et sera ouvert début d'été, en juin, et devrait se clôturer après l'été, en septembre. Nous travaillons à la rédaction du cahier des charges pour le premier appel. Déjà, il est quasiment finalisé. Il sera mis en ligne sur le site et vous aurez tous les détails sur les partenariats, les types d'activités, le budget, les procédures. Vous aurez tous les détails très rapidement. Et en plus de cet outil, le cahier des charges qui sera la Bible pour répondre aux appels à projets, nous allons organiser plusieurs événements pour aider les porteurs de projets à répondre à cet appel. Entre mi-janvier et mi-février, nous allons organiser des séminaires pour avoir des retours d'expérience des projets de la période 14-20 qui ont travaillé, notamment les projets qu'on appelle horizontaux et les projets stratégiques, qui pourront nous donner leur vision sur leurs analyses thématiques et leurs activités de community building, de transfert, de liaising et mainstreaming. Ça sera une première étape pour avoir un peu leur point de vue, puisqu'ils ont déjà travaillé un peu sur le programme. Pardon. Et ensuite, nous allons avoir, une fois que l'appel sera ouvert, nous aurons le séminaire pour les candidats, où là nous aborderons de manière plus détaillée les cahiers des charges, les outils, les procédures. Nous répondrons à toutes les questions possibles. Et enfin, pendant la période de rédaction des candidatures, nous aurons également des séminaires un peu plus ciblés. Vous avez les dates qui s'affichent là, donc vous pouvez déjà réserver et les prendre en photo. Ça sera ciblé, donc, comme vous le voyez, sur le partenariat, les indicateurs, l'éligibilité des dépenses. Voilà, donc ça, ce sont pour les séminaires et l'accompagnement qu'on pourra fournir aux porteurs de projets. Et ensuite, nous avons aussi les outils qui vont vous aider à déposer des candidatures. Donc déjà, notre nouveau programme qui devra être prêt, pareil, en début d'année, en janvier. Notre nouveau site, pardon, site internet du programme. Sur ce site, vous aurez un forum qui permettra l'échange entre les différents partenaires pour créer des nouveaux partenariats éventuellement. Nous aurons une section avec les questions fréquemment posées, bien sûr, pour essayer de donner le maximum d'informations à tout le monde. Et la nouveauté, c'est le système de dépôt des candidatures qui change. Ça ne sera plus Synergie, ça sera James. Qui sera également disponible quand l'appel sera ouvert, et nous mettrons en ligne les manuels pour l'utilisation de ce nouvel outil. Voilà, c'était à peu près tout pour les questions pratiques. J'espère que vous avez pris des photos.
Ok, merci Pascal. Yes, thank you. I think it was all clear, and there was a lot of information, very important information. So yes, please do stay tuned with us, and more information, more details about the course will come very soon. But before we move on, there's one word that you have heard a lot from us in the last few years, that's capitalization. And you know that we're very keen on this concept, and we always strive to take it further, to make sure that our projects resonate across all the Mediterranean. So we have finally Lidwin, who will introduce how, in this new approach, we will make that all happen.
Okay.
Strategically.
Okay, well, thank you.
Back in English.
All right. I'll let you switch to English for those who need, to French. So, results amplification strategy. Well, the first question is why the results amplification strategy and not a more commonly so-called capitalization strategy, as we heard the word several times. To fully understand why we call it this way for this programming period and what it is about, we need to go back a bit in time to understand how the program evolved over the two previous programming period in its search to impact sustainably and positively the Mediterranean area, and how we went from a simple capitalization plan to this current amplification strategy. So as we said, the ambition of the program is high, and as stated earlier, it goes way beyond the competences of the program alone. So the principle of capitalization, which firstly meant to reuse and disseminate the project's results, very rapidly entered the life of the program as a necessity to increase the benefit to the territories. So during the 2007 and 2013 programming period, going back in time, we had a capitalization plan. It was based on two major components. On one hand, all partnerships implemented capitalization activities at the end of the projects to disseminate or export their own results. On the other hand, these are the black people there, which doesn't have anything, you know, just with the color, but the program hired external experts to identify ex-post thematic links between projects. And they aim at forming clusters, trying to combine already achieved results to be valorized within the program area. The outcomes of this experience were mixed, highlighting several weaknesses. These weaknesses: first, the partnerships implemented activities that were mostly limited to broad dissemination events of isolated results and with little focus and sometimes no tangible results. They didn't always have, so the partnerships didn't always have sufficient skills or time to carry out more targeted and efficient capitalization actions as to reach the proper stakeholders. Other things, the results were not very often comprehensive enough and would not always have enough weight to really make a difference on a larger geographical area or a complex political scene. Another thing was that the intervention of external experts from the program made the analysis of outputs and results really long process and difficult. And the clustering process was rather uneasy, especially after the projects were over with results. And these results were mostly isolated, scattered, because every project had worked on its own or her own corner. I mean, all the partnerships had worked separately. So the results were quite fixed. They were not also very much adaptable. You know, they had been developed for a particular territory or an issue, and their adaptability had not been anticipated. They were not very much reusable as well. We had different formats, not exploitable. Sources, methodology were unexploitable or inaccessible, and the results were not very much combinable in the way they were developed. One more thing was that the capitalization activities were planned at the end of the projects. And the clustering process that we tried through external expertise occurred after the completion of the projects, and it was too late to be very much effective. So in short, what we can say is that the conditions for capitalizing the results were not met, nor at the project's levels, nor at the program level. Sorry to be that negative, but it was a long time ago. Thus, during the 2014 and 2020, still running period, the program worked on improving these conditions for capitalization. And the capitalization ceased to be an activity that was grafted on the projects at the end of their cycle, but it became an integrated activity. So to this end, it proposed different types of projects from the standard ones that we were used to. So we have talked about modular projects that were presented earlier. So that's how they were born, and as well the horizontal projects, which are the precursor of the thematic community projects that we also presented. So modular projects were this time clustered from their very start, and horizontal projects followed closely their developments, and they supported the exchanges and the synergies between themselves throughout the implementation of the projects, and they supported the effective transfer of results. In addition, for this programming period, the program understood quickly that to impact really the Mediterranean area, a better coordination of actions between the many overlapping programs, initiatives, and strategies operating in the area and addressing similar issues was essential. So that's why, since 2014, capitalization of results has been closely associated with the process of improving governance. And it's in this sense that the program designed governance projects. They were the platform for dialogue, Panorama-MED, and the strategic projects. They were also presented earlier by Sophie, that have been nourished by the results of thematic projects. It means that successfully produced, tested, and transferred results were meant to feed the exchanges between the actors and impact the multi-sectoral, multi-level, and transnational Mediterranean territorial governance. So what we had here was that capitalization has progressively taken on a more strategic dimension by moving closer to governance issues, embedding the major actors of the Mediterranean within and beyond the program area. The outcome of the experiment was rather positive. So what we had was, we had more focused actions towards stakeholders, for one thing. About the partnerships, they were more suited, they had more competences to integrate results and to carry out transfer and mainstreaming activities with relevant stakeholders. The horizontal projects comprised thematic experts. So the expertise was inside the program this time, and they performed real-time analysis of results and facilitated the development of synergies between the clustered projects. So they could collectively improve the modular projects' results outreach and favor the effective transfer in coordination with the governance projects, which had also their weight in the balance. So with all this process and all those different types of projects, finally results gain more weight as they were not isolated anymore. And I think that's the key word, not being isolated. They were also more adaptable because they have been developed right away with the idea of being eventually transferred and to be adapted to new environments. They were also more reusable because at the program level, the format were more suited. We put some constraint on the projects to make also the sources and the methodology available to other programs. It was a constraint, and therefore all this made them also more combinable. So one thing also important is the capitalization activities were implemented from the start of the projects and throughout their implementation, which enabled the development of effective synergies. At last, the thematic results contributed to feed an evidence-based dialogue between Mediterranean actors initiated by the governance projects to improve the Mediterranean governance. This association of capitalization and governance issues take the capitalization activities one step further, that is, embedded in the results amplification strategy. So, for this programming period, capitalization so far was considered as an activity rather than what we think that it should be, which is a collective state of mind, meaning that all together we need to keep this issue in mind in all the actions that we take. It's like recycling. For it to be efficient, it cannot be punctual or just the doing of a few persons. All parties need to be involved with coordinated, specific and clear rules from the start. That is the first particularity of the results amplification strategy. So having learned from the past, the program proposes to implement, again, modular projects, then thematic community projects, and you see also that the results, right away we have the symbol of being reusable, combinable, and more valuable. We go also with institutional dialogue projects that will explicitly complement each other in the nature of their tasks, as it was explained by Pascal. But in order to be really efficient, the strategy needed to involve explicitly also all the protagonists in the process with identified roles and tasks from the conception and for the whole duration of the program. Therefore, the complementarity of actions is extended to the monitoring committee, the managing authority, the national contact points, the joint secretariat, but also to all relevant actors within and beyond the programs. Of course, these actors were already present and active in the previous periods, but not with a clear identification of their roles and tasks, and not in a very structured and coordinated way. The second particularity of the amplification strategy, which gives its new name, is of course the close association of the capitalization processes with the process of improving the territorial governance that is reflected in the three general objectives that translate that vision. So the first objective is to, and the two first objectives are the one that we see very similar in other programs. So the first one is to facilitate the exploitation, sharing, and reuse of knowledge, experience, and project results by other Interreg Euro-MED projects or the programs, and promote the production of relevant work. The second one is to encourage the transfer of practices and results to other actors and territories, and their integration into local, regional, national, and European policies. And the third one is to increase coordination between actors operating in the Mediterranean, based on this knowledge, experience, and results. For each of these objectives, the strategy defines clearly complementary roles and actions for all actors. I'll give you some short and very simple examples. For instance, reuse. The monitoring committee will validate terms of reference proposed by the monitoring managing authority and the joint secretariat, with specific attention to the use of results, for which MED actors will be consulted. For instance, what could be the relevant work that should be taken into account by all projects. The joint secretariat, on the side, will make available material and results that the projects will have produced, making sure that the format enabled proper reuse, while the thematic community project will foster synergies between ongoing projects. You can see example of they all complementary and we all have a role to play. An example of transfer. The national contact points, for instance, they will identify potential receivers along with institutional dialogue projects that will analyze the regional and national set of play, while the thematic community projects will provide technical knowledge to transferring results produced by the modular projects in an adaptable and transferable way. At last, an example to support better coordination. Monitoring committee and managing authority will foster the conditions as well as the national contact points to identify opportunities and engage in liaising activities through also the joint secretariat and the institutional dialogue projects. Once again, in this process, thematic community projects and modular projects will support the evidence-based approach. Well, the strategy thus includes a detailed list of different types of activities. I showed you, I just explained some very simple ones just so that you catch the spirit of this results amplification strategy. Here, next is following a schema summarizes the overall interactions between all protagonists and the nature of their respective responsibilities. So the program authorities basically support the joint secretariat actions, such as in the definition of the help of the definition of the terms of reference that they validate. The terms of reference frame the actions for all the projects under the thematic issues and the governance issue. Modular projects will mainly produce, reuse, integrate, and consolidate the knowledge to feed into the governance projects. Thematic community projects will optimize the conditions for sharing knowledge and valorizing results, and they will also favor transferring and mainstreaming processes. While institutional dialogue projects will amplify the dialogue with national and supranational authorities to integrate results and improve coordination among actors within and beyond the MED area. All the projects will receive the support of the national contact points, as well as the joint secretariat, and notably in involving strategies, initiatives, other Interreg programs, other thematic programs, because we talked about Horizon, networks and Mediterranean frameworks in joint activities and coordinated efforts, which will be the issues that will be discussed in a roundtable, and it constitutes one of the first steps of working together for this period and making the results amplification strategy hopefully a success. I hope that this will convince you to all enter the round and also participate in these different tasks and responsibilities that we all share, and we are all complementary to each other. So.
Wow, thank you, Lidwine. Yeah, I think that's all good. Yes, thank you very much for all of your presentations. I think we needed to have that as much detailed as possible for now to introduce what we have, what we are planning to launch for you, and for all of us to respond to these objectives of the new era of the Mediterranean. So we have a long journey ahead of us, for sure. And at the moment, we have in our hands a map and a compass. So ambition, objectives, and missions to make it happen. So stay tuned, as in the coming weeks, we will announce the opening of our first call for projects dedicated to thematic communities and institutional dialogue projects, as you've heard, which will lay the foundations for the modular projects who will follow a few months later. Before we move on to anything, we've had a lot of questions from all participants, and we will I think it's important that we take some time to answer as many as possible now. I know we're running a little bit late, but it's important that we cover some of these now. And if we have not been able to answer you now through the presentations or now, we will still answer them, and you will find the answers on our website very soon. So first, will there be a governance platform similar to Panorama-MED for the current period, or will governance projects play this role?
Panorama-MED, just a reminder for those who don't know Panorama-MED, I cite it, I said the name, this is the governance platform that we had for this programming period. And this is really the projects that open the door to really this simplification strategy with the licensing activities that it initiated. So, of course, we learned from our mistakes as well, meaning that this project was really very wide and lacked sometimes focus on the different topics that we had, and we had a lack of coherence. So, as it says in the questions, the governance projects, the institutional dialogue projects will take on board the different experience from Panorama-MED in the liaising and mainstreaming processes. So it's a revision. We will have 4 different dedicated projects to a specific mission that sounds for us to be more effective than a wide, just one single platform of dialogues for all different missions. So this is narrowed and more focused, but there will be some activities that were developed by the governance platform Panorama-MED that will surely be capitalized in these 4 different projects. So it's just a baby of Panorama-MED. This is the continuation of Panorama-MED.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Second question, will there be restrictions for the participation of governance project partners in modular projects?
Okay, the terms of references are not yet validated by our committee. So how I can answer to this question, our proposal is no, there won't be any restriction for the participation of partners that will be in the governance project in modular project, but this for the moment is not yet approved.
Yep. Okay, can you clarify the associated partner opportunity with South Mediterranean countries?
Okay, so here what is important to know is that we cannot finance directly partners which are from the southern shore of the Mediterranean. But what we can do is to associate them to projects and to partners which are in the eligible area of the program, and to give them the opportunity to participate in some key activities of the projects, so that they will have the possibility to follow up all the works of the project, to participate in some seminars, working sessions, exchanges, workshops, etc. And if they have some expenditure, some travel and accommodation expenditure, for example, to participate to those activities, these will be covered by the financing partners. So this is for the direct participation through associated partners. But of course, the work we are doing with frameworks that covers the southern shore of the Mediterranean, like the Union for the Mediterranean, for example, gives also other opportunities for partners from the southern shore of the Mediterranean to participate in the work of the program in a more global way.
Yes. Next question, which I think is linked. Can networks based in Brussels be partners? Is there still a 20% available for EU partners outside the Mediterranean?
Networks based in Brussels can be partners, of course, of the program, as they are in the EU part, in the EU, how to say, eligible area, but there won't be any threshold of 20% anymore.
Okay. Sorry, can you, I think there was some, can you repeat the last thing you said?
There won't be the 20% threshold anymore. No, it's not in the regulation anymore.
Okay. Should projects aim to the mission in general and more precisely to one or more specific objectives?
Okay, each project has to tackle one specific objective, not more than one, but contribute in the wider mission. Okay, so the finance is on the specific objective because this is the regulatory framework.
Okay, do we have time for more questions? Okay, a project will include more than a mission or more than specific objectives? No, we've answered that. How many thematic projects there will be in the new program? They will be related with each mission. And how are the former modular projects will be separated? Again, per mission. Can we have some examples?
Okay, so thematic community project, I suppose was the question. There will be 4 thematic community projects, 1 per mission. And for the modular projects, they will be clustered depending in the application form. They will have to choose a specific objective, and also they will, of course, have to explain their approach and how they contribute to one of the 4 missions. So they will be separated in the 4 missions in that way.
Okay.
So for example, some examples, maybe in sustainable tourism, which is the more transversal one, we will have projects under the different specific objectives that will implement activities linked to sustainable tourism, and they will all together contribute to the mission on enhancing sustainable tourism, for example.
Okay, perfect. One last question, maybe? No. Okay, I think we're ready to close this session. My colleagues, many thanks to for your participation, for your clarifications, and very soon you will find our new website that will be launched also along with the first course. So in the meantime, you can find all the relevant information about the new programming period on our current interreg-med.eu program website. So keep an eye out for the announcements about the publication of the course, because they will, in the first instance, take place there. Before we go for a break, let's check quickly how Daniel is doing and what he's drawn for us. I don't know if we can see on the screen, but it looks like he's done already a full picture of everything that we've discussed in this first part of the presentation. Yes, look at that. When we have it all in on one sheet like that, it looks very easy, but actually, as you know, there's plenty to do for us. Okay, and this will be posted as well in the post-event section of our website. Okay, I think we all deserve the break now after all this information. So I invite you to enjoy your coffee for those of you who are here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, hope you're still with us at home as well, and we will be back in half an hour. So please be back at 4 p.m. Lisbon time. And we'll just take 30 minutes, so please make sure to be back on time, because we will start back on time at 4 p.m. Thank you very much. So we are ready to start again. Can you please come back to your seats as we have the second part that's about to start, with a lot of very important discussions that are about to take place. So can you please all make your way back to the room, to your seats? And we are ready to start For all of you at home and at the office, thank you very much for your patience, and I hope you had a nice stretch as well, and you are ready for the next presentations. C'est bon? Ah, sorry. Okay. Okay, we're ready to start now. You will have some time later on to catch up. I know we've all been missing these interactions, and the catch-ups with our partners, with our friends are long overdue, so you will have plenty of time at the end of the event to do that. The venue will stay open, so you can make use of the coffee and the drinks here to continue these important conversations based on everything that you've been hearing. There's plenty to start planning now. But this next session we're very proud and very grateful to be able to host this session. It shows how much we have bonded and coordinated with our colleagues, our other stakeholders, and other programs in the Mediterranean. And you know, when traveling, it's great to be able to share this journey with others. That's what makes it even more valuable, even more impactful, to share those experiences, connect with one another. These are the memories that create an impact and last in our minds and in the way we operate. So this afternoon, we will aim to start planning this journey together with our program partners from across the Mediterranean. They have responded positively to our invitation, so we're very grateful that they have joined us today to continue this work together and embark on this new adventure together. So, I will leave the floor now to introduce my colleague, your captain for this afternoon's session, our dear Mercedes Acitores. She's the program officer at Interact, and she's a seasoned supporter and friend of cooperation in the Mediterranean. Mercedes, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I'll let you introduce your panel for this discussion, your cooperation crew for the Interreg Euro-MED ship.
Thank you very much, Nicolas. Always a pleasure to be here with you, and I can say really this from the heart. It's really seeing you and even having the possibility of having a conversation face to face. It really is a great pleasure. So I won't be alone in this session related to synergies and cooperation in the Mediterranean. Together with me will be some colleagues that are online, and I would like to take the opportunity to say hello, boa tarde, to those that are online. And I would like to welcome Lodovico Gherardi, who is his managing authority for ADRION program. Aldo Puleo, please, Aldo, you can get the seat, managing authority from ENI CBC Med. Future Next Med. Curzio Cervelli, managing authority. I'll get it. Okay, this is for later, so I'll leave it here. Okay. Curzio Cervelli, head of Secretariat of Euro-MED. Representing the Italian government Cohesion department, Monica Belisario. Please, Monica. We also have online DG Mare, Manuel Pleguezuelo. Boa tarde, Manuel. And now Alessandra Asensi from Union for the Mediterranean. So thank you very much for being here. Well, I would like, I don't know, am I switching the slides or are you doing it for me? Are you doing it for me? Ah, okay. If you give me a piece of technology, don't worry, it won't work. So let's see how we will deal now for today. The first thing is that hearing our colleagues, my ex-colleagues from Interreg MED, I have been working for Interreg MED for 8 years, so I always will be MED part of the MED program. Hearing, we can all agree that the MED program is in the avant-garde, always pushing us to new models, to test new strategies, new ways of doing things, and always to putting us into this extra mile. And for sure, this programming period will be the same. It will take us to the maximum of our efforts. I would like you that's the reason also for this session, because yes, we need to work in cooperation, but not only the programs who are here. You have a great responsibility on all this. You will have to work in cooperation also with other programs, and you will listen more when the other programs and other representatives will talk about. Let me see. Okay. This is a map which is quite impressive. This is a map from the 2014-2020 period, and you could see how those many programs in the Mediterranean, 17, they have a geographically overlap. They have a geographical overlap, but at the same time, we have the same objective. There are objectives that the European Commission tell us that we need to work with. This doesn't mean that we are doing the same things. There are different approaches and different ways and lines of actions. So we need to get the maximum of being in the same area, having the same objectives. We really need to do something that will have a strong impact in the area. From the European Commission, the programs had a strong request to work on integration, to a higher complementarity. And I always say in some of the meetings that when the key word in 2014-2020 was capitalization, we were using capitalization on and on and on. For this programming period, it won't be only capitalization, but complementarity and synergies. Starting already thinking with a different mindset. So so this is a bit of what's the situation in the Mediterranean. Now the geography will be different. The MED program already informed us that there will be 2 other countries in the area, and other programs also they're changing the area. But you have a bit of an idea how many are working. Besides that, we have a macro-regional strategy in the Adriatic Union area and a sea-basing strategy, the West Med. So it's a quite complex situation. Now, for the future, Interreg MED had explained the different objectives of the program and a mission, right? All this comes from 4 policy objectives that the European Commission informed to the programs that they need to work on that with this principle of being more focused and concentrated. If we have to see, to interact together with TESIM, we start working with the 17 programs in the Mediterranean and to see how are they, what are they selecting, what kind of priorities the programs that they are in this program, in the countries that they are in these programs are selecting as a priority. And we can see that there's a high potential for synergies in the greener policy, this greener Europe, and smarter Europe, more social Europe, and a better cooperation Europe. Less potential in the more connected, safer Europe and closer to the citizens. This is the situation in the whole Mediterranean. Now, this is so far, it's only for you to have this information, how the different specific how the programs are choosing the specific objectives. We could see that the most selected is climate change and natural risks. Afterwards, biodiversity. So green is, as I said before, is the strongest potential for synergies, but also innovation with research and innovation, and also support to SMEs. Afterwards, in PO4, we have culture and sustainable tourism, together with social innovation, with 10 programs focusing on that. And in the part of institutional and of governance, we have institutional capacity, 7 programs. Most of these are, and legal administrative cooperation. These are most cross-border programs, the ones are working on this, and then other actions to support cooperation. The call for cooperation is not only among transnational programs. The call for cooperation is also to see what the cross-border programs are doing. So it's only for you to have that in mind, although here we'll be representing the transnational, but please have in mind that their cross-borders are doing activities and you need to work in synergy with them. I just explain, I mean, this is, okay, that's it. Finished, my presentation's finished, so you can stop it. Okay, exactly. So what is the edit? Well, we have already this info. I think that was a bit earlier. This is the question, but maybe it's already, okay. Can we delete the presentation, please? Afterwards, we will come back to it. Because this will be a question that I think you're already answering. Perfect. So we said that we need to work together, not only the programs, but also with you. And this is a big challenge. So now we will start with a debate with the programs, a member state, and an international organization. And I would like to ask you, why do we need to work in cooperation and in better synergies? In your opinion, from a program perspective, a member state perspective, and international government. So please, Alessandra.
Thank you very much, Mercedes, and thank you very much to everybody. It's a great pleasure actually to be here with you and actually follow the very inspiring session that we had before. We were, and I speak of course on behalf of the Union for the Mediterranean, which represented the 42 Euro-Mediterranean countries. We were particularly, let's say, impressed by the advancement actually in the collective state of mind, as it was very nicely expressed and said by our colleagues with respect to the region. As you know, our mandate is indeed for the region to work as one, for the region to develop in a certain way together towards a sustainable development, with that of course greener, smarter, and all this, but of course to reach this stage we need convergence. And I'm very pleased actually to say that in between of this very intense dialogue that we have been having actually over the years, this is a very important result which matches also what's happening at country level. Just on Monday, this Monday, we have been hosting actually the Mediterranean Regional Forum, which is actually the meeting of the 42 ministries of foreign affairs. And for the first time ever, there was an incredible convergence around exactly the same line of what has been discussed. So the very important aspect here is indeed to work all together and to link processes and projects. Of course, the two elements feed each other. And of course, to move in parallel and in a synergic way, we need to ensure that the vision is one for the entire Euro-Mediterranean region.
Thank you very much. I don't know if we have Manuel Pleguezuelo from the DG Mare. Manuel, are you with us? He's supposed to connect in.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon from the snowy Brussels this afternoon. Not Mediterranean weather indeed. Huh? Well, we were asking why we need to cooperate, but I think that's first of all because the new regulation is recommended, is suggesting all of us to cooperate. We are sharing territories, we are sharing resources, we are mainly sharing challenges, and in maritime affairs that's so clear. And we need to be efficient as well. When we talk about the sustainability, this is not only environmental sustainability, also economic sustainability, and be efficient in the use of our resources. So for this mutual benefit, for this collective benefit, for this complementarity, to expand the impact of our projects, of the projects of the potential partners that are gathering this afternoon in Lisbon, we also need to cooperate because we are all members of our community, all the projects, initiatives, different entities, different level of international organizations as well. So we need to increase the visibility of the projects as well. And we need to use these alliances, these networks, these strategies to disseminate better. We are all talking about the tangible results. We are always asking for tangible impact and tangible results. So the projects, if cooperate, we need to implement the policy framework. It's through the projects that the policy is implemented, but also it's through the projects that the future policy is feeded. So I think that's complementarity from the EU side, from the national side, and for sure, given the important dimension of the maritime issues in the Interreg Euro-MED programme, the role of the sea basin strategies, beside the macro-regional strategies, which as EU share with a concrete pillar, maritime in blue growth, and the sea basin strategy, namely WestMed, embedding the priorities of the sea basin strategies in the programming starting now. It's quite relevant, and I think for this mutual benefit for all of us.
Thank you very much, Manuel. I have to tell you that here the weather is quite good, a bit windy, but I'm sorry for that. Next time I hope that you will do your best to come and join us. Okay, it's just a joke, but yes, I can see that the aim is to focus and to maximize resources. And the other message coming from Alessandra, the Mediterranean is one, unique one, and the idea of sustainability, as you said again, is not only of environmental, but also economical. Thank you very much, Manuel. Stay with us, okay? Now, the next speaker will be Monica. Monica representing Italy. Why should we improve our cooperation? Why we should work in complementarity? Please remember to take off your mask.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, why? Well, I cannot but subscribe the words of Alessandra and of Manuel. So we are working all together and we need to maximize results. We need to use and to reuse results that have been produced in an area of the Mediterranean for the benefit of other areas of the Mediterranean. Of course, as Manuel was reminding us, we have a kind of recommendation, obligation from the new regulatory framework to work on complementarity and synergies to contribute to macro-regional strategies and to sea basin strategies. But let's first of all talk about opportunity and not about obligation. Because, I mean, we know being people working in this very exposed area as the Mediterranean, that we have common challenges that we cannot afford to tackle alone. So we need to work as a team and we need to know which to use, to be informed and to use the knowledge that has been produced in the different frameworks. So that is very relevant, and I believe what has been presented a few minutes ago regarding the results amplification strategy of the new Euro-MED programme. I mean, this is really the approach we should have, trying to amplify our own results and learn from other frameworks. So that's our aim. It is not easy, but we cannot afford anymore to be overlapping, to have overlapping interventions. We need to have a better use of public money, a more effective and efficient use. I think we are ready. So let's do it.
Thank you very much, Monica. I think so too, we are ready, and I think that's the first time us and Interreg we work with other programs in other parts of Europe, and I can tell you that the Mediterranean team is the one that is more aware that this need of working jointly, and that's very gratifying. And as you said, it's not only the regulation that pushes but also our will. So now I will ask again, let's see, Aldo, from the next program, also with your partner countries. You have another challenge. It's not only right, because you have to deal with the partner countries, as you, Alessandra, but here's the program. How do you see, why do we need to cooperate, and how these countries perceive the idea of synergies?
Well, thank you, Mercedes, first of all, and allow me to thank our cousins from the MED program for inviting us, but also our Portuguese friends for the wonderful hospitality that they always have. I would like to actually to recall just the intervention of your Undersecretary of State, Ferreira, that also quoted the Commissioner Ferreira. I mean, we are living in one Mediterranean. I mean, we have already heard Alessandra, Monica, about, and also Manuel. Apart from the obligations that we have, I think that the key message delivered by your Undersecretary of State is clear. If we want to live in the Mediterranean, we need to work together to improve the situation of the Mediterranean. I think that the topics that you presented are quite clear. I mean, we share common challenges. I have listened very carefully to the very detailed presentation of the future strategy of the Euro-MED program, and I see actually a very corresponding strategy compared to the one that the ENI CBC MED, that the future Interreg Next MED program has. Therefore, I think that the message should be, we are sharing these priorities. I think we have also the possibility to share the tools and the results also of these previous cooperation exercise that we have carried out in the previous programming period. Therefore, I would say, I would answer your question saying, why not to cooperate, basically? I mean, it is evident to us, and I think that it is in the interest of everyone that deals with these programs, which have I would say, a powerful tool, which is the possibility to do little things, but altogether we could actually reach a very important impact, and we will be benefiting from this impact ourselves as citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aldo. Why not? I mean, but it took us some time to arrive to this stage. We know, right. we know. Now we would like to listen to Lodovico Gherardi from ADRION. Lodovico, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
And what's your opinion? Hi. What's the weather like? What is the weather like? That's the first thing.
It's cold and it's raining because we are in the far north of the south, and then we are quite a junction between the Mediterranean area and Central Europe. But for this reason, somebody forgot the fact that the Adriatic and Ionian is Mediterranean Sea in a large time. And this is one of the reasons why it is useful to cooperate, because the Western Balkan and the northern part of Italy are completely inside of this area. And it is important, the fact to have the possibility to share and to link and to improve the cooperation. Another thing, I believe, okay, we have the duty to coordinate the cooperation among the cross-border program inside of the EUSAIR macro-regional area, because we are the unique transnational program that cover completely this macro-region. First. Second, we are the unique transnational program that are an IPA transnational program. I received just the last week some answer from the Commission that answer to our question, but we are not CBC. In all the regulation is clearly defined the CBC IPA, but we have much more money, IPA money than the RDF. And the answer was, okay, you are transnational, but you have to read CBC. And then we are a transnational IPA program. But in this bracket, I would like to say that it is important to cooperate between programs because now the frameworks of project partners, of projects, are really strong. And there are a lot of cases in where projects have the final event together with other projects funded by different programs. Why we don't use this to improve and increase the capacity, and why we don't use this opportunity to produce something of much more concrete? It is not a duty, it's a possibility, a challenge, and we can and we have to use it. And it is a good thing that this opportunity starts from the southern part of Europe, because we have, I believe, much more possibility and much more needs to work together. And we have also, and I close my consideration, we have another opportunity. Aldo is inside of the managing authority in a program in where are involved also partners from the southern coast of Mediterranean. I'm inside of a managing authority in where we manage and we try to help countries that are in the pre-accession phase. And Curzio manage a program that links together all the Mediterranean area. I believe that the importance to work together is because we have different point of view, different final target, but inside a general big framework. And it is in this big framework that it is useful for a managing authority, much more than the states, because we are transnationally a managing authority. It's easier to cooperate.
Thank you very much, Lodovico. And I think you did a great point of unifying these three programs, the ADRION with your characteristic with IPA, with Interreg Next MED with the Southern Shore, and MED, Interreg Euro-MED, linked all of them. This is a very interesting fact, and you mentioned also projects, and projects will be mentioned around the whole session, because the responsibility, this is not only a theoretical or philosophical discussion here. This discussion is going down there, okay? So this is the lesson you need to leave. Whenever you leave that door, you need to know that you're responsible for all these discussions we are having here, okay? Yes. Yes, I can see the second row that's saying yes. I don't know about the last ones. Okay. Curzio, now it's your turn as hosting this event. What is the view? We understand more or less because we listen very carefully to the MED colleagues, but what is the MED position?
Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you to all of you to be here, to be also in a remote way. It's very important for us to start a new programming period in a different way. We are different, but all together we are stronger. Someone in this room 15 years ago, more or less, told me that I was wrong. It was true. It was not possible to have only one capitalization process for program and for projects. I was convinced that it was possible, but it was not possible. But now, as Monica said, it's possible. We are ready. I think that we cannot continue to work in a separate way, to continue to have projects on one side and a program on another side, because challenges are so important, so complex, that we need to merge our forces, our capacities, our competencies. So publicly, I told you that I was wrong, but I'm not wrong now. So please take on board, because what is important about this discussion today for you is to understand that we are working for you. We are not working only for us, of course. If you are stronger, we will be stronger. The impact asked by the European Commission, by the regulation, will be proved, will be ensured only if we will be able to work in such a way. But you will have the capacity to build your partnership as you want, to have the right competencies within your partnership, to choose the right type of projects to be most effective. So don't think that there will be only dialogue institutional projects because they are institutional. As a study project, a monomodular, single module of study, it will be so important than an institutional dialogue project if it will be able to have a real impact in its territory. So what is important is to be aware about your objective, about your competencies, about the typology of the project needed to be effective in such a framework you wanted to change. So we at the Euro-MED program have moved a lot since 2010, trying, experimenting different ways to be effective. Sometimes it was fine, another way a little bit less. But you experimented with us these ways, and you are aware what is the most important for you and not us. We are not existing without you. So you are the pillar. You need to be convinced that you have to find the most appropriate competencies in the territory to be effective at the institutional level and to have the bigger impact we can all together with our colleagues. In 3 programming periods ago, I didn't know Aldo. It was an unknown person for me, and I for you, Aldo. But now we know each other, and I think I know all people here today, and we are really in a capacity to create the right framework for offering you the possibility to go further. And you have to take this opportunity because we cannot without you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Curzio. I mean, you weren't wrong, you were a visionary. So, you know, you saw things before it happened, and now they gave you, now you can tell that you are right. Okay, thank you very much. So we discussed about why to do it, and we understood that why to do it, and we already started giving you this responsibility in the how. It's you, together with the program, who you will really do this coordination activities. Now, I would like to ask you, and we will start from you, Curzio. We will start how, in your opinion, and with your experience and role, we should work. Is there any tool? Is there any mechanism? Is there any system that you as a program would suggest or would put in place? I think we understood something already, but is there anything that you would put in place? Would we consider the macro-regional strategies and sea-basing strategies? I mean, this is a question to all of you. We will start with Curzio, and we will go just as we went, but the other way around, okay?
Yes. As I just said, we are already working for building a mechanism of coordination among strategies, initiatives, countries, programs, and thematic programs as well. But what is important from my point of view is to be able to aggregate all forces wishing to contribute to the same basket. We are representing today here transnational programs, but we have not to forget that we have also cross-border programs in the Mediterranean area, very important for the territories, representing also very important political issues that as transnational we are not able to face. So we have to think about what is easier for us as communication initiatives in order to reach all citizens, because as Interreg programs also we need to confirm that it's true. I think to confirm that we are existing and we are working for finding solutions in the future, and not only to exchange ideas not used, not recycled, as some slides previously have showed. We are working on concrete methodologies, action plans. You know very well that because you are the main actors on that. You are working within your territorial institutional organism to change your life day by day. So we need to find the right tools. We are going to adopt GEMS. You have to know that more or less for the moment, if I'm not wrong, 25 programs across Europe will adopt GEMS. It will be easier to exchange data, because we need to start from data in order to know what we are producing all together. So this is a very important step. Interact probably will propose other tools also on artificial intelligence or whatever. In
Business
order
intelligence, I understood that this is
to create synergies, but we needed to communicate as Mediterranean. We needed to find, to identify the best solutions as Mediterranean. We needed to transfer and to use identify the solution as Mediterranean. I don't want to be necessarily Euro-MED only. I want to be a Mediterranean program with all other programs in the Mediterranean area.
Thank you very much, Curzio. I have to say that yes, Interact is working with some harmonization tools in order to make these synergies possible. Probably some of you would know already about KEEP. KEEP, it's a huge database which will improve. Until right now, we had some kind of information that will improve. HIT is the monitoring system, and HIT is the implementing system, and GEMS will be the monitoring system. And the three of them will communicate, will nourish one after the other. So whatever information you put already in the application will be directly in the monitoring system and will be directly in GEMS and in KEEP. And it will be updated in the same day, the same moment that you are putting the information. So that, I think, it's one of very interesting tools in order to improve this coordination. Okay, so Lodovico, are you there with us? Are you here with us, sorry?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so.
Exactly, I'm really close to you.
So how do you, and you have a different perspective because you have a macro region in your side, huh?
Yes, I have a lot of duty, unfortunately. I cannot use my Mediterranean fantasy because I believe that this is another skill that will be useful to improve this coordination. Because, okay, as Curzio said, it is important to share tools, to share also methodology in order to have a continuous dialogue because we have a more deep idea of the things that are burning inside of our area. I have also the duty to transfer this idea to the macro region that have the name of 2C, but have the majority of the territory inland. And this is the tricky point that I have to combine, because frankly speaking, in my area, in ADRION area, the blue growth has to read as blue/green growth. And the importance of my different point of view is to give to a more devoted program, more devoted to the sea basing, some idea of the things that are important for the inland. And also it is important to give and to share the experience, to have a broader vision. To be back, how can we doing? We doing, of course, sharing the methodology, sharing tools, but sharing also the idea that starts from each country. And inside of our program, it is important that to give also the idea and the experience of the other programs in order to enlarge the view, the point of view of the lead applicants, in order to have a greater dimension of the idea. I believe that these are the things that are important to develop together, and not stay only of the respect of the duty. Not only, I have to give a fantasy and new idea to the macro region strategy. Without our contribution, but not only without ADRION contribution, but also without the Interreg contribution, I believe that the macro regions don't arrive at nothing of concrete. I believe that we are a focal point, a sort of point of development also of the strategies.
For sure, I think for sure we are. We are not maybe only a tool, right? We are not only a tool.
Yes.
We are more than that. I mean, we as Interreg programs. And I believe that also you're mentioning this changing of mindsets, right? So, Aldo, you were looking at me. Now it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Mercedes, and thank you very much, Curzio and Lodovico, for giving me also the possibility to add the perspective on, of the third, actually, transnational program that is intervening today. First of all, I think one of the key aspects that came out today is that the green is probably the topic where we do have the majority of overlaps. And this is something that is already known also in the southern shore of the Mediterranean. I mean, our partner countries are aware of these overlaps, but most importantly, we have tried along these past years to, in some sense, to grab their attention on the fact that they are part of a wider picture. I liked it very much when your colleague Curzio was presenting the previous programming period testing capitalization activities that your program, but also our program, carried out, because I think that you are actually you are 100% correct when you're saying I think we reached the point where we cannot continue thinking as a single program. We need to work together with the other programs that are working in the same area. And the capitalization experience that you had and that we had in the previous programming period is actually what happened. I mean, we have projects here, we have potential project beneficiaries that are very, very focused on their, obviously, on their project specific objectives and on the expected results and the outputs they need to deliver. Programs are obviously interested in getting their results. When we launched the capitalization activities work package, we gave you the possibility to propose something, and at the end, I think Ludwig, right, today presented the results of these. Actually, what we got as a program was, okay, you did a lot of interaction with other projects, but concretely, we did not get much out of this exercise. I think that Curzio also mentioned the right way. I mean, first of all, we need to share information, to analyze the information, to get tools together, and I would say to establish a structured cooperation among the programs in order to get the results, analyze the results, and use the results. As a ENI-CBC MED program, we did, I would say, a test. Allow me to use this wording with our capitalization calls for proposals that we launched by gathering the results of Curzio's program, the PRIMA initiative, the UFM, but other also important programs. We analyzed the results, and obviously we picked those that were fitting within our strategy, which were actually those that are overlapping in the sense of common challenges that we have seen also today. And if today we have capitalization projects that will start with results coming from projects financed by the MED program to be wider implemented, it is already a starting point. Therefore, I think that the right way is to start doing these in a systematic way and together among the 3 transnational programs, but also with other initiatives, such as Alessandra's organization, the Union for the Mediterranean, and also involving, obviously, the member states, which are dealing with many other bilateral programs, but also mainstream programs. I think that the picture is this. A very last message, if you allow me to take this extra 30 seconds for projects. I mean, the message, I think, for you as being in a program is you are part of this. We will do our best to coordinate ourselves at program level, but at the end, at the very end, you are those that actually can make the difference. Because we're going to use your results. We can provide you with tools, we can facilitate your lives, but at the end, you have a huge responsibility in this process.
Thank you very much, Aldo. I think that, yes, this idea of having something structured and that can, because you have, it's more like a personal relationship, right, between you, Lodovico, and, but now it needs to be something a bit more established. We see that already, I think, Monica, I saw Manuel and I thought it was his turn, but it's Monica, you as a state. How do you see things?
Well, I mean, we need to influence policy change altogether. And this can be more effective if we do it all together. So we need to give, as Alessandra was saying at the beginning, converging messages. So these messages have to be convergent by all the bodies constituting the multi-level governance. So states, regions, local authorities, the European Commission with all its DGs, not in a separated way, but in an interactive way, because this is what we ask from ourselves, and we are committed together like a team. We have to be committed as a team. So, and then Aldo was mentioning what we have been doing, they have been doing in the 14-20 period as a kind of voluntary initiative, voluntary interaction, and the need of a more systematic approach. So I really do believe in this. We have to be more systematic. We have been brave, we have been clever. Let's go a step
ahead.
Beyond this. And so that's why I believe we should try to experiment a coordination, a reinforced cooperation among Interreg programs in the Mediterranean, and try to test a pilot flagship on a common thematic like sustainable tourism, which is also very close to citizens, can be felt directly by the citizens. And what should this wide thematic be for the different programs? Not all the programs have chosen this very specific thematic in a specific way, but as you were highlighting in your analysis, I mean, sustainable tourism can be declined, has to be declined in different ways. So from basically under the PO2, so a greener Europe, under the sustainability development. So that is crucial. And the good is that it is obligatory. The choice of this policy objective is obligatory. And that means that it's common to all Interreg programs, to all cohesion programs. This is a strength. We have to use this. And unify, I mean, try to cooperate by also adding the other possible declination of sustainable tourism that are more specific, like economic development, social inclusion, social innovation. So that's really trying to experiment a pilot on sustainable tourism would allow us to work in the same direction and to give a bigger contribution to influence policy change. Then I would conclude with a message to applicants, to potential beneficiaries. We have more ambition in the 21-27 period, but we are completely aware that there is a need of simplification. I heard some voices behind me saying, how is this complicated? But, I mean, you will be helped by programs authorities, by joint secretariats. There will be a full range of seminars helping the potential beneficiaries to understand which is the role they could play, and they have on which abilities they have to search to really let the impact in our territories grow bigger. And this, I mean, cooperation works. That's your motto. It is. I really believe in it.
Yeah, thank you very much for supporting our motto. And I really support also this idea of sustainable tourism as an horizontal view, even though maybe you are not financing that topic as such, but yes, in one way or the other, in a direct or indirect way, you will tackle it. Now, Manuel, the turn is yours, and afterwards, Alessandra, you will put the cherry on the cake with the final words. Okay, so Manuel, the turn's yours. Coming from DG Mare and having the sea basing strategy behind you. So how to improve this coordination?
Yes, another answer from my side, it should be using the sea basing strategies. As if we talk about the Mediterranean area, we need to talk about the West Mediterranean initiative for promoting blue economy. We have heard about the green transition, but the policy now is that it's no green without blue. So the Commission launched a new sustainable blue economy communication. We are not talking anymore about blue growth. We prefer to talk about the way to ensure the European Green Deal for the maritime affairs is the sustainable blue economy, and using the ongoing cooperation framework, which are the sea basin strategies. I think it's a good answer to say how we can cooperate better. So even though we are aware that the West Med initiative, it's not covering the whole Med. It's only including 5 of the EU countries plus other 5 non-EU countries for the North Africa. But I think that we can build on the experiences. It can be a sort of, not a privileged area, not an exclusive framework, but as, if I may, as an accelerator to be useful for the whole Mediterranean. Let's take advantage of what is already ongoing in this specific area in terms of knowledge or science or technical groups on different thematics with common challenges, alliances, results of the different projects. So let's use, as well as the EU SER Pillar 1, and build on that, because the usability of sea basin strategies, results and impacts can be of interest of the whole Mediterranean. Indeed, we have starting to talk from the DG Mare from one side, but also especially from the countries, because the sea basin strategies are made and composed by countries with the different managing authorities, so the different programs dealing with the Mediterranean. And indeed, the last steering committee meeting of the West Med agreed to prepare an agreement, a common roadmap, a memorandum of understanding with the Interreg Euro-MED in order to make tangible this capitalization, building on the results, as I said, of projects coming from Interreg Euro-MED, but also embedding the priorities coming of the sea basin strategies, because as has been said previously, we share also priorities, we share our goals and our purpose. And it's also important to take into consideration that through the sea basin strategies, and specifically through West Med, we can engage local stakeholders, because they are national focal points, national hubs that are really close to the ground, if I may say that. So it's also an important thing, and build from the technical or from the operational side towards the policy, starting cooperating at technical level, and after that going to the policy level. And lastly, I would like to recall that everything that I'm saying must be aligned with the framework of the Union for the Mediterranean, for sure. We must be useful for the unique Med. Build also in the experience of the Panorama projects that some days ago we had the dialogues of the Panorama, that there's a lot of interesting conclusions to build on, and also taking, keeping an eye, we can say, in other programs beyond Interreg, because for instance, the European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund, it's currently dealing with a call specifically for West Mediterranean countries for sustainable tourism. So we need to look further, to look beyond Interreg as well. As was also commented in the previous session, the Horizon Europe Ocean Mission is also another topic that is totally aligned, because in the Mediterranean, the pilot action, we can say, that will be implemented in this ocean mission will be related to marine pollution. So let's build on that.
Yeah, thank you, Manuel. I think that the idea is not only look Interreg, but look beyond, all right? And Alessandra, before we go to the beneficiaries, because the beneficiaries now will tell us how they can really contribute to all this system, to all this what we just talked. But please, before that, Alessandra.
Thank you very much, Mercen. Thank you very much to everybody for the contributions. Indeed, I mean, as it was already said by all the colleagues and all the previous speakers, we are at a turning point in this dialogue. It was mentioned before, what we are looking for is a coordinated cooperation, which of course, in order to progress, has to make the best use of the existing tools, but as also to, as Monica was also mentioning, fine-tune the mechanism. We have to look for a mechanism which is progressively systematized. Of course, let's think that it's 2021 and 2030 is basically tomorrow. The region is facing a lot of challenge, so there is a need to accelerate also on this. We are testing, using what we have, improving, but of course, we need to accelerate to meet all this challenge. So in a certain way also the governance tool that was presented even before can be actually the opportunity to systematize all these talks within Interreg MED, CBC, beyond, as we were saying, through a closer, let's say, dialogue and reflections, of course, among us, but also among the wider stakeholders. Again, we as UFM, we put at disposal our tools because, of course, what matters for us is indeed ensure inclusiveness and therefore ownership. Nobody has to feel outside these, that's why we are talking of Mediterranean as one. And so we put at disposal our tools, which are indeed this ministerial declaration and related priorities. Manuel has been mentioned, the one on sustainable blue economy that was approved and adopted in February, but actually has been a very rich year. We had also the one on energy and the very recent one on environment and climate change, which indeed all together build the package on green, blue, circular economy that we are all mentioning. And we have also regular dialogue, platform for dialogue. So again, this is our contribution, and of course we cannot make it on our own. What we are looking for is a coordinated cooperation so that everybody can contribute in its own capacity according to his resources and according to his mandate, but again, in a coordinated manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alessandra. So I think we all agree that we are all supporting this coordination from the different institutions that we are here representing. And yeah, yes, the question goes to you. And now the question is, what is the added value of such coordination or complementarity for you, for the beneficiaries? And I think the Mentimeter was launched some while ago because we got to see the presentation. Exactly. So what is the added value? And here we see collaboration, holistic med, complementarities, knowledge, of course, knowledge. More you share, more you complement, more you get to know. Benefits, sharing knowledge, networking, again, enrichment, value. I would like, since we cannot talk with the people that are online, we hope there's still some there listening to us. Is there anyone here in the floor with us that would like to maybe add some of this, add a bit more information in this part of what is the added value of working? Because a word says only few things, but we would like some of you that wrote that in Mentimeter to explain it a bit more. Is there anyone? No? I'm sure some of you wrote something and you had something behind, because there are many words here. Well, unfortunately, no one, yeah, maybe would like to add.
They are shy today.
Sorry? Oh,
yes,
thank you. Yeah. Or maybe he could come and, yeah. Since you've been so brave, come here. Maybe the other ones will reactivate a bit, having this moment of glory. Good. A big applause, come on. You were the brave one. Thank you. Just come.
Wow. Hello, I'm Sherif Al-Khalil. I'm presenting Institute for System and Robotics from Lisboa, but I'm from Morocco, so I'm from the south. So I would like to add here something really important is investing in youth.
In youth?
Yes, because I believe that our problem in Mediterranean is related to the future generation. So how can we really give the floor to the future generation if we don't invest in youth? And this is really important. Okay, excuse me, I will take just 1 second, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So if I observe or if I share with you the situation in Morocco, as I am a PhD doctor from Morocco, I work in different institutes, but unfortunately, in the North African, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt maybe, we have a problem in investing in youth, which makes it, nobody knows what is happening in the Mediterranean. And that's really making a question. In the next 10 years, maybe today, we are talking about sustainability. We are talking about working together. But the youth talking about Instagram, Facebook, shopping stuff, football, I'm not against that. But they must talk about environment, which is really something important for our life. The Earth, I'm doing remote sensing when I observe with satellites, is very small. Whatever, you are living in a flat or a villa or a mountain, but our future is the same. So please, can you add investing in youth? Because this is the only guarantee for our life in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think this can be used as a closing remark.
May I add one thing, because I think that you have, thank you very much, first of all.
Aldo, I think it will be...
Thank you very much, first of all. I think you have touched one of the key points of these, and I can tell you that we are committed as a program to give this possibility. We have made this proposal to our participating countries to reserve a portion of the budget for youth that should pass from being final beneficiaries to protagonists in our projects. So I think that this is very important. I think that beside the fact that other programs could do the same thing, but we need to take this into account also when coordinating with each other, because the results should be used for young generations. Otherwise, we will not achieve what we said earlier today. We are living in the Mediterranean. We must give a future to the next generation. And most importantly, there are 700,000 jobs that can be created through the topics on the green transition that we have seen today. So thank you very much for your intervention. I think, Mercedes, you should add.
Yeah, of course we will add it, and it's transversal to all of this, and also to sustainable tourism. And this 2022 will be the European Year for Youth. So thank you very much for you staying here. Thank you very much for those that are connected, still connected. And we had a good summary that we need to work together, and now with also a youth perspective. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the afternoon, what is left for the afternoon.
Yes. Thank you also to our panelists who've joined us online. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you, Mercedes, for this really interesting perspective of the cooperation. Be careful there. And thank you for all our panelists and stakeholders for your support, for your coordination, for wanting to work together with us and make it all happen in this true cooperation spirit. So we are running really late. We are sorry about that, and we'll try and wrap up this event today. And we would like to close with passing the baton ceremony, handing over from our lovely hosts here in Portugal all the way across the other side of our cooperation area onto Cyprus, who will take over the presidency of the Interreg MED Programme. So I would like to welcome to the stage our two representatives, Mr. Duarte Rodrigues, who's the Vice President of the Development and Cohesion Agency of Portugal. Welcome. Together with Ms. Ioana Kleanthos from Cyprus, Director General of European Programs. Many thanks to you both. Yes, please.
Good afternoon to everyone. In the name of the Agency for Development and Cohesion, the entity in Portugal responsible for the coordination of EU funds and regional policy, I would like to extend a cordial welcome to the Managing Authority, Technical Secretariat, and the guests presented in this session. I would like to congratulate my Cypriot colleague, Ms. Ioana Klentus, and sorry for the accent or for the pronunciation, the wrong for sure, future chair of the Monitoring Committee. I greet my colleagues representing the partner states cooperating on behalf of the Mediterranean. I greet all those present and thanking them for their participation in this event, which provide a new version for the future of Euro-MED program. Allow me a special word for my cooperation team, Raquel and Oliverio. Their commitment to this program and their resilience on the current pandemic stage allow us to be here today together. It is for me a pleasure to address you today. We are celebrating the start of another programming period whose ambitions remain on the construction of the future of one of the most remarkable and sensitive areas in the world, the Mediterranean. And now, sorry, but allow me to switch for Portuguese. It's not so common that I can speak in my own language, so I know that there is translation available. Apesar de estarmos a celebrar o arranque do novo período de programação, com um programa que congrega à volta do mesmo desígnio representantes de 14 países que agora são parte do programa Euro-MED, não posso deixar de referir que estamos todos de parabéns por ter conseguido, em paralelo, continuar a implementar o programa 2014-2020, com todas as vicissitudes inerentes à necessidade de reprogramar processos e procedimentos, adequando o programa a uma nova realidade. Todos aprendemos a viver nesta nova realidade de Covid e a nossa resiliência tem sido um ativo fundamental. No período 2014-2020, o programa Interreg MED promoveu a cooperação entre uma tipologia múltipla e diversificada de parceiros, de 13 países no Mediterrâneo, facilitando novos quadros de cooperação para todos os parceiros situados nesta área geográfica. Os resultados obtidos no período que agora termina foram claramente alcançados e potenciados. A concentração temática, orientação para resultados, transnacionalidade, relevância territorial, sustentabilidade, transmissibilidade e capitalização foram e continuarão a ser pilares fundamentais que representam o ADN do programa Interreg MED, sendo coerentes com a promoção do desenvolvimento, da boa governação e apoiados pela política de coesão da União Europeia. E abraçando este novo desafio, que é o período do programa 21-27, temos a honra de contar com a adesão de mais 2 Estados-membros, aos quais damos as boas-vindas, e com os quais temos a certeza que caminharemos, lado a lado, para o cumprimento dos objetivos fixados no âmbito do quadro de implementação e execução que agora se inicia. A partir da apresentação do Euro-MED, podemos estar confiantes de que o novo capítulo se abre para uma governação mais coordenada, mais próxima dos cidadãos em toda a bacia do Mediterrâneo. Como não podia deixar de ser, gostaríamos de agradecer a todas as cerca de 1000 entidades, beneficiárias e organismos nacionais, regionais e locais envolvidos neste projeto por terem tornado possível este quadro de referência. Sendo necessário assegurar a continuidade dos trabalhos programáticos iniciados em 2019, em outubro de 2019, Portugal, na presidência deste programa, em janeiro de 2021, recebeu de braços abertos a responsabilidade de presidir as negociações do programa 2021-2027. Neste contexto, mediou as discussões e debates em torno da elaboração do documento programático, cuja apresentação, para a aprovação pela Comissão Europeia, deixarei nas mãos da nossa colega cipriota e está prevista para janeiro de 2022. A presidência portuguesa também se empenhou no objetivo de promover a entrada de novas regiões, de Estados-membros já representados no programa, da Bulgária e da Macedónia do Norte, contando o Euro-MED com a participação de 14 países, no total de 69 regiões. A participação destes novos parceiros no programa, estamos certos, trará novas oportunidades de cooperação e novas perspectivas de governação na área do Mediterrâneo. Senhoras e senhores, temos grandes desafios pela frente. Durante a tarde tiveram a discuti-los. Contribuir para a transição para uma sociedade neutra e resiliente em termos climáticos. Contribuir para a mitigação do impacto das alterações climáticas nos recursos mediterrâneos, assegurando simultaneamente um crescimento sustentável e o bem-estar dos seus cidadãos, alinhando os objetivos do programa aos objetivos do European Green Deal e da Agenda 2030 para o Desenvolvimento Sustentável. O objetivo a que o programa que acabamos de apresentar se propõe é ambicioso e nem sempre fácil de concretizar, mas contamos com o empenho de todos vós para a materialização desta vontade. Para ultrapassar os desafios que nos apresentam, o programa irá contar com financiamento FEDER para apoiar soluções que oferecem uma contribuição clara, através de experiência, boas práticas e capitalização dos resultados obtidos em anteriores períodos de programação. Contamos com todos os que queiram colocar o seu esforço e conhecimento ao serviço de um programa que ambiciona ser uma referência na área do Mediterrâneo. Por fim, gostaríamos de transmitir a todos o nosso agradecimento pelo muito já alcançado e, trabalhando em conjunto, seguramente temos sucesso no muito que ainda falta realizar. Pegando no lema desta conferência, "This is a first step into a long journey." Ou, em alternativa, convém não esquecer a velha máxima de que sozinhos vamos mais depressa, mas juntos vamos mais longe. Um lema em inglês bastante mais fácil do que em português: "Alone I go faster, together we go further." So I think this is a right lemma for this event. Welcome to the Interreg Euro-MED Programme, where the common challenge and responsibility collective is ahead of us. Good luck to everyone on this new adventure. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to my Cypriot colleague, Mr. Ioannis Klentus, it is with a great sense of responsibility and duty fulfilled, with this development, help and cooperation of all of you. Within this scope, I will pass the president of this program to my colleague from Cyprus. We are sure we'll continue to work harder and continue all the work in progress, and we will be responsible for announcing the approval of the program and for launching the first call of the program. Thank you very much for the collaboration, and we are in your hands from now on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez, for your kind words. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me congratulate the Portuguese presidency for the excellent organization of today's annual and launching event at this beautiful venue in Lisbon. Today is a very special and unique day of celebration, since the last year was one of the most challenging in the history of our program due to the difficulties imposed by the pandemic. I would also like to congratulate all the participating countries for the efforts they made so as we can be here today celebrating the kickoff of the Interreg Euro-MED 2021-2027 program. Allow me to thank especially Raquel and Oliviero for their excellent work chairing this year's committees, leading to a successful result. Last but not least, congratulations to the Managing Authority and the Joint Secretariat for their remarkable contribution to this outstanding outcome and their prompt response to the new formats of our cooperation. At this point, I would also like to warmly welcome to the Euro-MED program our two new partners that joined forces, Bulgaria and North Macedonia. This entails new cooperation opportunities, which I am confident will generate even more successful results and outputs in the programming period ahead of us. 2022 is a key year as the approval of our new Euro-MED program and the launching of the first calls are anticipated. By the end of January 2022, we are expecting the adoption of the implementing acts and the European Territorial Cooperation regulations that will determine the IPA funds. This will allow us to conclude and submit our cooperation program. The approval of the cooperation program is expected around May 2022. In line with the EU focus on environment and climate, the Interreg Euro-MED program aims to make the Mediterranean smarter and greener. In this spirit, environment is the main theme for the new program, ensuring and continuity with the 2014-2020 programming period of the Interreg MED program. The main goal of the Interreg Euro-MED programme is to contribute to the transition towards a climate-neutral and resilient society. It aims at fighting the impact of global changes on the Mediterranean resources while ensuring a sustainable growth and the well-being of citizens. It is fully aligned with the UN Sustainable Goals, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and the European Green Deal, as already mentioned by the previous speakers. Moreover, since the Interreg MED programme has given great emphasis to project capitalization, as already mentioned, as a continuation to that effort, the Interreg Euro-MED programme has included the Interreg Specific Objective 1, Better Governance, as a priority. The aim is to increase its potential impact on the programme area and promote the transfer and integration of project results into practices and policy making at European, national, regional and local levels. Based on the pilot experience of supporting multi-level governance in the framework of Panorama-MED project, Interreg Euro-MED aims to addressing governance challenges in order to make the cooperation in the area and the programme work better and more sustainably. Another significant development for 2022 is the launching of the first call for projects under this Interreg Specific Objective 1 in February 2022. Under this new priority, we expect to have two types of projects: the thematic community projects that will aim at establishing the conditions for synergy and coordination between thematic projects, valorizing individual project results, and the institutional dialogue projects that will aim to foster liaising activities, strengthen coordination, as well as to facilitate mainstreaming processes and policy changes in order to improve the territorial cohesion in a global way at the transnational level. The first projects are expected to be approved and implementation to start before the end of 2022, and this will be the main focus and main target of the Cyprus presidency of the programme. Additionally, the second call for the thematic project will most probably open at the second half of 2022 concerning the priorities of the programme. More details will be announced in spring. Moreover, efforts will be made for the smooth closing of the Interreg MED programme that is reaching its end at 2023. Let me thank you for this opportunity to meeting you all in person and congratulate once again all the contributors to this successful outcome. We hope that we will soon leave the pandemic behind us, and we look forward to welcoming you in person to our lovely island, Cyprus, next year to celebrate together the approval of our programme and the approval of the first project. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Did you get that on camera, the shaking of the hands symbolizing the transition, hopefully? Thank you very much for your speeches. That was great, and we're even more reinforced now, and we are in the good hands of your presidency. I mean, I think you have a lot coming up in this year, but we're confident that with all of the support of all the countries, we will manage. Thank you very much. Before we close, can we have a quick look at Daniel's work, because I think he's finished his second work of art, masterpiece. It looks really, really impressive considering all the information that was discussed this afternoon. Okay. Thank you very much once again to the Portuguese team, to our hosts. I think they've done a fantastic job in hosting us in these circumstances, and we are really pleased that we have been able to hold an event, considering the that we are now still in 2021, and that these things are not so easy. But thank you, and thank you to the presidency, Raquel, Oliveira, for all your great work and all your team. Thank you for the technical team at the Altice Arena here. You've been fantastic, and we were really relieved to leave all those aspects in your hands. So we are grateful. Thank you very much. So yes, what a year this has been. So for you as the presidency, and I'm sure with the Cyprus team in charge now, we will be led into the new program, and as you said, the new projects to start. Okay, I think we can say that this event is now finally coming to an end. We've been delighted to have spent this afternoon with you, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Sorry about the delay once again. The venue will stay open for some more time, so you can make the most of what's left of the coffee and snacks and drinks. And I know you've been longing for those catch-ups over coffee, so it's still here for a short while. Unfortunately, that's as much as we can do considering the circumstances, but for sure there will be some new occasions, and we will meet once again very soon. Stay tuned for more information about the cause. As you know, we will make sure to publish everything as soon as we can, and in any case, in February, we will hold the first applicant seminar, so be sure to join us for that. Okay, big thanks for all of you for coming, and I wish you a safe journey back home. Thank you to all of you who watched us online, and we are really looking forward to working with you some more in this new adventure. We're very grateful to count on such dedicated and passionate individuals to always take the ambition further, and help us build the future of the Mediterranean together with you. We're really looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, thank you. I don't know, I feel like we should keep it going, because we haven't had that opportunity to speak for so long, but I mean, I'll wrap up. Don't worry. Maybe also because it's special for me. We are in the Altice Arena. I don't know if you know, but it's here in Lisbon. It's a really important venue with all the biggest artists come here. They have loads of really important concerts and celebrations. They've had the Eurovision Song Contest in 2018. I mean, I'm a big fan, so that's why I felt the need to mention it. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, for me, it's been an honor to have shared this afternoon with you, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Let the Interreg Euro-MED 21-27 begin. Thank you.